We're live! We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gamesline podcast. It's me, John. I'm hosting. I'm back. Hello, everybody. Hi. I should probably scooch up a little.
Get in there. Scooch on in.
Right,
Scooch your little butt up.
This is as far up as I can go because my my desk is a little short.
Get closer.
This is as close as I can get. Folks, it's me, John. Hello, I'm here. I'm in charge of Gamesline, the video game website and podcasts and other stuff that we do. We talk about all kinds of stuff that's going on gaming, because stuff is always happening on gaming. Folks, this time, it's me. Lily's back from last week. Lily, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine, even though my glasses broke right before the podcast started.
Shit. Let me bring it a little closer. Shit. I'm sorry. Nothing worse.
Yeah, my nose pads both fell off on both sides, actually.
Damn. I'm sorry. Is there anything we can do for you for that, or?
Unfortunately, no. But fortunately, you don't need to be able to see the podcast.
That's right. That's right. You can do it blind. That's true.
I guess so.
Yeah, seeing I, Lorelai.
Mm-hmm. But yes, Lorelai is here. Hello, you are in your full VTuber form. You're hanging out with the metaphor characters. Can I ask?
Lorelai is muted, apparently.
Yeah, you're apparently muted. It says.
We can hear you, but we
can hear you.
I think your OBS mic might be muted. Your output mic.
Wow! How about that? I forgot I was the producer last time, so I forgot to re-enable my microphone. How about that? Let's fucking go! I am the champion. Yay! Hi, everybody.
We're here to edit. Yay!
Okay. So yes, Lorelai, you're here. You're hanging out with the metaphor characters.
I am.
Is there a specific reason why you're hanging out with them, or is it just, you're just hanging out?
Because my VTuber model fit perfectly in front of this asshole. So it worked. You know me, I just like to throw dumb images together. See, originally it was just going to be the poster for the greatest movie ever made, Gymkata, starring 3-time world gymnastics champion Kurt Thomas as Jonathan Cabot. But I decided on metaphor.
Available to you whenever you want, too.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Scott, you're also here. Hello, Scott.
Hello, I'm very excited to be back on the Gamesline podcast, where we're about to do an epic podcast about video games and everything about video games, gaming news, gaming culture, gaming questions, all of your burning questions. Every single thing is going to be answered today on the podcast. No stones left unturned, no loads refused.
I don't know about that last one, but the rest of them we can try. We will try to go over everything that has to do with gaming. We'll try to talk about what the new games are, what games are good, and we're also going to solve every single problem that is going on in the gaming industry. We're just going to solve all of them.
See, we can do that now that we're on video, because we exist now outside of being ghost voices.
Does it have to be gaming related? Because I did just figure Cold Fusion out.
Unfortunately, it does have to be gaming related. I'm so sorry. Sorry. You are going to have to cut that shit out. Yeah.
I'll just put it in the recycling bin.
Exactly. No, you're going to have to completely burn it. We don't want anyone else to find out about it. We can't risk that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, yeah, we're here. We're talking games. We can talk about other stuff too, I suppose. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know where I should be looking. I keep my eyes are just like.
I have that same problem with a whole bunch of monitors in front of me, and I'm just like, well, I gotta look at this so I can see that and that to see that. But sometimes you just stay. Keep it lined up for you. Look into the middle distance. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
None of us are real.
Someone in Twitch chat is again saying I'm a little low. Pump me up a little bit, maybe.
All right, I will pump you back up a little bit.
Thank you.
It was funny when we did that test. I had to turn you up. Gotta love it.
I don't know. It's what it is. What it is. Live television, everybody, or Twitch streaming. I mean, how's everything been going this past week? Lilith, you've been here a whole goddamn week, and you've already got a review up, and that's really cool, and we're really happy about that. Do you want to talk about your review real quick?
Yeah, I think that it's kind of like I wanted to get off on like a strong foot just by getting sure I had something up. I do want to be regularly posting that kind of thing. I actually started outlining another review already, but in the particulars for the Wrath of the Righteous review, I could have gone on for like several thousand more words, I think, but I think the things that I mainly wanted to say, especially with it being like this month of all things, I did really kind of want to capture kind of the cross discipline conversation that needed to happen about things like morality, things like that, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think that as far as like the things that I personally needed to say, I'm sure someone could talk more comprehensively on like, here's how the game is perfectly different than Pathfinder First Edition compared to Second Edition, but no, these were just the perspectives I had personally.
I mean, I think that's what a good review is. It's the perspective that you have and the perspective that you want to share that you feel like is important and all that. And, you could do more. Obviously, you could always do more. Everyone can always do it's, you could write a book about that game if you wanted to. But
I will do the first Gamesline 10-hour video essay.
Yes, let's go! Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
These days that'll probably be pretty successful, like I'm not going to tell you no, don't do it, no, because like at this point it's like actually that would probably be
that's a short one for us. It's a short one for one of these.
But also, I mean, I don't want you to do that if that's not what you actually want to do. Like if you could actually support that, sure. But I'm not gonna, I don't want you like talking in circles and all that.
So when are we gonna do the first Gamesline like marathon 24-hour podcast?
I mean, we've done 24-hour streams before. That's not new for us. We can do it again. Except the last one did break my back, so.
Maybe
rain check on it. Rain check. That's
maybe
right.
Maybe not. Yeah. I mean, and we were tagging in and out and all that. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe one of us can do a 24-hour stream just the whole way through. And then by the end of it, we'll be the first. I was going to say the first Twitch streamer to die on stream, but that can't be the case. Someone has to. Has to have happened already. Just law of small numbers shit. But anyway, yes, thank you so much for your review. It was, as I'm not just saying that as the EIC, I'm just saying it as somebody who likes to read good stuff about video games. That was good stuff about video games. So thank you very much for your hard work.
Hope to contribute more.
I'm sure you will. Lorelai, what's been going on your end? Casual games wise or not even games wise. What's this going on? I'll just check in.
It's convention season again. So Andrea and I have been very busy. We just finished up a small convention last weekend that was a really fun little local show called Books with Pictures Con, which is just comic shop blocks off the street in front of their shop. And tons of people come by. There are all these great comic writers like David Walker and Brian Michael Bendis come by, and all the Portland like crew. And so you get to meet all these people you look up to. They come by excitedly to your table, like wanting to see your new stuff. It's people who just love comics, and it's one of my favorite little street fairs we do every year. Like And having it this year was really nice because, like, what's the thing? Last year we got hailed out. Just massive hailstorm came through and destroyed a bunch of our stuff, and it was like, no. And this year, gorgeous day, perfect weather, like such a great time. And then we've got a couple of Pokemon ones coming up over the next couple of weeks with the Pokemon Go Fest in Vancouver. And then another one that's another Poke Fest in Portland, which is going to be really nice. It's convention season, so we're making lots of merch and making lots of stickers and cool stuff. And it's just really, it's a good time. And when we haven't been doing that, we've been just mostly playing Mario Kart World together.
So I want to say 3 of the 4 of us have Switch 2s now.
Yeah.
Are we like the Switch 2 group of... Well, Jackson has one, I think, right?
Yeah.
So a chunk of us on Gamesline have Switch 2s now. We could talk about that a bit. I mean, I will just say I wanted to just talk about cons a little bit.
Yeah.
We talked about them a lot on the anime podcast, but God, I want to go to a convention so bad.
It's so much fun going to conventions.
Long.
Like it's that season again, which is it's always exciting. My least favorite part is that they're always on like they like restrict my ability to travel sometimes or do things, but it's still just, it's such a much better vibe time than a lot of stuff. Like just being excited about stuff alongside people is such a nice feeling. Like,
yeah. I'm gonna have a convention to go to next month because I do work with Old School Gamer magazine and I help at their booth. So, I'm just gonna be there handing out forms.
That's exciting.
So please read our magazine.
Read our magazine. I mean, it's a cool thing you do. Like, I love the articles you write. Like,
it's neat. Like I do like to contribute to that magazine. Like, it's I'm gonna be honest. Whenever I see myself on there, and I'm just like, oh, they put me like right next to Jeremy Parrish. Okay,
yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, because I'm like, damn, that guy's way more talented than me. But it's heartening. It's nice to see. But it's a chill convention. It's there's always that undertone of the evils of game collecting in the current age, but also it's not as bad, more in the sense that game prices have been going down a little bit, but the thing is that Pokemon cards are so much more expensive now, so like half the convention is just Pokemon cards now. Even though it's a video game convention, and I'm just like I like Pokemon cards, but I don't want to interact with this. It's pushed me away from Pokemon cards.
The Pokemon card thing is like just nuts. Like one of my streamer friends got into the Pokemon card collecting, and then got into tabling at those card shows and Pokemon shows. Like, because I know they're going to have tables near us at these shows, but watching them like. When you're selling cards, you're not really selling. You're mostly like, I'm watching them trade and do all these, and it's like, it's such a different thing. Like, I'm at a convention to sell art. They're at a convention to trade cards and get the things that they want, and it's just really interesting. Like, it's such a different vibe.
Like, part of me thinks that's kind of cool. But then part of me is like, man, no, it's just there's just, it's so evil and it's so frustrating, and it just I don't know, because like
I find it a little less evil just because I have watched them multiple times like you'll see people there showing up who are clearly like a scalper that bought a table because they think they can sell all the packs they grabbed from whatever, and they sell nothing. Nobody goes up to those people. It's so funny.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, like, because like, I don't feel bad about people that are just like, oh, I'm just, selling cards. I'm getting my hands on stuff and selling it. Like the people that I just the people that I do not like are just the people that are buying, like, rushing to stores and buying all the bundles and all the packs and everything. Because, like, honestly, it's kind of good for people who are playing the game because so many Pokemon has that thing where all their cards are printed in different rarities, so it's like, yeah, someone will want that super rare Charizard, like that very like special exclusive printing of it. But if you want to play with that card in your deck, there's lower rarity versions of it, so it's just like, okay, yeah, you could just play this, and that'll be for sale on some website for
$2
relatively cheap. I mean, I think I can actually say TCG Player again because they actually
yeah.
There was a big blow up with their union, and because they fired everybody, and like I still think it's fucking shitty that they did fire everybody and they're closing that section down, but they gave the union a pretty good severance package and everything, so I guess that's that's what you can ask for, I suppose, if you're doing that. But yeah, it's just like as someone who plays the games and wants to interact with that aspect of it, like, that's fine. It's just, but I'm also just somebody who's like, I'm at Walmart, I'm buying some groceries, I want to buy a pack. Like, I want to do that,
and
like,
the wall is just fucking empty.
It's gone. It's empty.
It's so nuts. Like, I worked retail for a while, and there were only two things that happened with. Yeah, the Pokemon cards. People knew the shipment dates for Pokemon cards and Hot Wheels. So, like, whenever you'd get a shipment of either of those in, if it's Hot Wheels Day, it's a bunch of old men showing up who just love Hot Wheels. And if it's Pokemon Day, it's a whole lot of old men showing up who just want to scalp them.
Yeah, like for the Hot Wheels and stuff, like I at the very least feel like those people actually kind of care a little bit. Like they're there.
No,
they're there because they
excited. They're like, "Do you have the new one in? Do you have the new one in? Oh, I need it. Oh my god!" Or they'll
because they have like chase cars where it's just like, oh yeah, like this one's like got a different color. This one's glow in the dark, and it's like, I get it, like, I get it. I'm not gonna be shitty about it. Like, if you just want the thing, like,
you don't see 1,000 of them on eBay. It's guys who are just really excited about little cars.
Yeah. But yeah, the gaming and its consequences. Scott, what's been going on in your end?
Well, last Wednesday I learned how to do a body slam. On Monday I learned how to do an arm drag. Well, actually, yeah, no, that was Monday. I learned how to do an arm drag. I also know how to do a snapmare. I know how to do chain wrestling. I know how to run the ropes. I know how to do a shoulder block. I'm really hoping to learn how to do a power bomb soon, but I think we're going to be doing strikes next.
Oh,
very excited. We were supposed to learn how to do a clothesline, which is one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to be clotheslining everyone. I'm going to be hitting them with the big ol' that one. But unfortunately, they have what happened was our ring, our like practice ring, had really, really loose ropes. And that's a problem.
Can't do clotheslines.
Can't do that. So we took apart the ring multiple times and put it back together, and it was still the ropes were still a mess. So we're hoping by Monday the ropes are much better, so we can like actually do it. Like, we let the guy who owns the place know, like, this is what's going on. Hopefully they're fixed by then.
That does actually remind me. I did get to watch Swerve Strickland and my least favorite wrestler in the world, who I'm beginning to think Will Ospreay is like baseball. in that he's much better to watch in person than he is to watch on TV.
All right, I don't want to get too deep into actually talking about wrestling, but
I did go to the AEW Summer Blockbuster, and it was very sad watching a man cough up his raspberry jam. That shit's expensive at the farmer's market.
That was very sad. It was very red and very goopy. No, I'm not. I don't want to get too deep into actual wrestling talk on our video game podcast, but I will say, like, Ospreay pre-AEW, can't stand him. I don't like watching any of his matches. I hate that he does the same stupid selling every single time. Ospreay in AEW, he's kind of peak. He's kind of the best. He's really good. He's great. I love his shit. I'm finally on board. I love being a bruv. I love when he points to our side of the arena and I go, Ospreay. That's the thing. No, I'm learning how to wrestle. It's been cool. It's been cool. I love it. I have a lot of fun. I had an improv show on Friday, and like the first thing I did was like right before I announced our team and everything, I did like a full on like roll onto the stage and then got to my knees and stuck my arms up and I'm like, where this team? This is our troop name and everything. I'm not saying it out loud for doxing reasons.
Hell yeah.
But like,
we'll find you. Don't worry.
It's not that hard. But anyways, like, it's been fun because like during that set, I did a lot more like physical stuff than I normally do. Like, I'm getting down. I had my knee pads on while I was like performing. So I was like getting down on all fours like pretty constantly. I was doing like a whole bunch of crazy poses and stuff. And then it's like, the team who came from, I say team like we're competing. We're just troops. We're just
I was gonna say, like, how do you?
No, we were just like each of us had like a 20-minute set, like one after another. But like the troop that came from Houston, like they came up to me and they're like, "Dude, you're fucking awesome. Like we loved like your physicality and stuff. That was so cool." And these are like guys I've never met before who just like, They're literally there because they've been doing this way longer than me. So I'm like, that's nice. That's good. I don't know. It's been fun, especially for a dude as big as I am. Like in my like 6'4", an embarrassingly large amount of pounds. It's really nice to like know I'm still incredibly like weirdly athletic. It's fun. I like doing this shit. It's cool.
Yeah, that's how you do it. I mean, really, like once you get moving again. It comes back to you because like I haven't been doing anything crazy physical, but I've been taking walks and jogging more, and I can breathe better.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
It's all true. Everything they say about exercise is true.
Yeah.
But sitting down kicks ass is the thing.
It's so good.
Sitting down rocks.
I don't know. Getting a standing desk, best purchase I've ever made. I'm standing this whole podcast.
I believe you.
Sure.
I believe you. And here's the thing. I love standing more now. Whenever I get the chance, I'm like, I'm just going to stand around. But I fucking love sitting down. Sitting down.
Here's the thing. I actually really do enjoy taking walks and jogging in the morning.
Yeah.
But when I wake up, I'm like, dog, I couldn't do this shit.
I can't fucking do it.
I never want to do this again. And then I get up and I start doing it. I'm like, oh, this is nice.
There's been so many times to a wrestling practice, I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this. I'm just gonna get my ass kicked. It's gonna fucking suck. And then we get through it, and it's like, oh, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Cured my depression. So weird.
Tis weird.
Feel like shit, but.
And I know we talked about your review, Lily, but I don't want to erase your non-gaming life. Is there anything that's been going on in your end that you want to talk about?
Tell us.
Aside from the review stuff, I had the distressing thing that happens when you're a writer, where you get halfway through outlining and then you go, "Oh, I need to do this over again."
It happens, yeah.
I feel you.
That was basically my whole week gone to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I did like write a piece, but it was more like here's like a whole bunch of notes, like basically. And that's been a thing that's been on my mind while I've had so many other things going. Is like I need to go back to this and work on this, and then also like me and the people I wrote Delgo 2 with, like we want to work on our next project. We want to do that. And I haven't spent any time thinking about that. And it's like, I gotta finish this one thing, we're gonna finish this other thing, and it's like,
yeah, one at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the... Go ahead.
I still can't believe I spent 4 hours watching y'all fucking talk about Delgo fucking.
I mean, yeah, that's just what art is. That's what art is.
Someone's got to do it.
We don't need to talk about it again, but
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great movie. Great movie. Critics love it.
Of course. As for John, I did go. I did go out on the prowl yesterday.
Ooh.
And by that I mean I went to a bunch of nerd stores and bought some things. I'll be honest. I need to buy some more shelves or something because I was thinking about buying some figures and I just don't have the space. I need to get something because here I'm gonna try to show you all. I do have like this one shelf right here. See that? That's my Marvel vs. Capcom shelf.
Ooh.
Right.
Because I have Iron Man and War Machine and Ryu and Taskmaster and MODOK, and those are all really cool. And I should probably get a Capcom villain to put up there, because I have like, like Marvel guys and then a Capcom guy and then Marvel guy. So there should be a Capcom guy,
Yeah.
But I don't know, like a Wesker figure or something. I don't know. And then I actually, this is also, I need to find the artist for this because it's a really gorgeous piece. Kind of hard to see, but it's a Resident Evil 8 print that I bought online a while ago.
Hell yeah.
I'll get an artist for that. But no, I need more shelves because I was like, you know what? They have a model kit. I've been so Digimon pilled lately. They have a big old model kit of Machine Dramon. Do you know y'all know Machine Dramon, right?
Oh yeah. Who doesn't know Machine Dramon?
Right. Lorelai, if you could pull up a picture of Machine Dramon,
I cannot bring up a picture of Machine Dramon.
I thought that was something you could do. I'm sorry.
Bring him into the call right
She
now.
totally can. She doesn't want it. That's the point.
Fair. Okay. Look,
I can't just do it on command. It takes a second.
I don't know. I kind of thought you could. I'm sorry.
I mean, hold on.
Like I gotta search and
I don't know. I could grab my phone and just pull.
Check this out. Look at this. Look at all these guys.
Yeah, there you go. That's
look at these guys.
Like. He's a big dragon. Be careful. I don't want you to accidentally pull up something fucked up. I don't know what people are drawing Machine Dramon doing on Google Images.
Hold on. Scrolling.
Yeah,
scrolling.
I need you to be careful, please. I don't want us to get banned.
Yeah.
I'm just scared. I'm sorry.
Don't get us banned right from the start, you monster.
But yeah, I wanted to get a model kit of that or of the Winged Dragon of Ra. You don't have to pull up a picture. I'm sorry. I wanted to build a model kit. I wanted to do that, but I don't have a room on my shelves right now, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna buy some more shelves. But I did buy some other stuff. The only thing that I have next to me that I bought is I did buy the first Hellboy omnibus because
exciting.
I was like, hey, I need to read more Western comics because they're actually doing the thing that I said that they should be doing the whole time, which is releasing stories in a way that is readable and normal for normal people.
What, you mean you don't want to read it over the span of 9 months in 30-page intervals? I'm sorry, 24-page intervals? I'm sorry, they're in 19-page intervals now?
And thrown all over on different series and stuff. Okay, I tried to get into Marvel Comics for a while because I I was just into what the MCU was putting out at the time. Like that was like Guardians, I think around like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm gonna read some of this. Like I was enjoying like some of the Netflix stuff. I was like, okay, I'll read like, Iron Fist. Like they had like an Iron Fist and Luke Cage book at the time. They had like, what did they have? Oh yeah, Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange. I don't care too much for Benedict Cumberbatch's performance and all that, but I like Doctor Strange as a concept. So there was a pretty decent Doctor Strange book at the time. And then like all of a sudden they went, oh, by the way, actually we're doing Civil War 2. And everything just completely went out of whack.
Yep.
Like all of this, like everything that was being built up with all the different stories, they just went, actually, no, we're not doing any of that. We're just bye.
Throw it out.
Like literally, they were in the middle of like 5 stories, and they just threw it all out so they could. And I was like, oh my god,
throw it out the window. We need a dog shit crossover. Woo! It
was so bad. So I'm just gonna like some stuff. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna just read like the omnibuses, the trades and all that.
Yeah.
But the specific things that I really like, and again, I don't have it right next to me, so I'm not gonna pull it out. But I bought the because DC was doing those like mini things,
yep.
like those like yeah, they're $10.
Yeah.
And it's decent quality, like it's not like super nice paper or anything like that, but it's decent. It's well printed for what it is. And it's entire runs of like classic stories. And I got the All-Star Superman one because I bought a trade like a decade ago that was the first half of it, and then I could never find the second half. So I just bought all of it in a nice like bundle thing that was cheaper than buying just the one, volume that I bought previously. And it's nice. It's a decent story so far. Like I'm like halfway through it, and it's just nice to have that in a collection. And DC has been doing that for like a hot minute. Like I think they mostly have like a bunch of Batman stuff. Like I think they have like Hush and
they
stuff like that.
They do a lot of like all ages books in that same format, which is really nice. Being able to get a like 100, 120, 200 page thing for like $10-15 that are like really good.
Yeah. And I think Marvel is starting to do that. I saw that they had a collection of some of the Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four stuff, which I'm not like I'm not super in the know of all that stuff. Like I just know a lot of people tell me that Hickman stuff is really good.
Yes. And that run specifically, Mike Allred on art is so fucking good.
Yeah. So I will probably pick that up maybe, but I do need to do a little research just to make sure that it's like how much of the run it is, because I feel like that was probably like way more than what could fit in one of those books. But I just want to kind of understand, because they're kind of pushing him a good amount, I think, because they're doing the Fantastic Four movie, and it they might be kind of leading up to Secret Wars and all that with like Doom and everything. So I'm for the films and all that. So I'm guessing that's what they're going to do. So they're going to push his stuff so people know about it. And I mean, he's also doing like the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff, which a lot of that Ultimate stuff is pretty good. Like I've been reading some of that on like a comics app. And it's, for the most part, it's pretty good. Like especially the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff that he's doing, and also the main Ultimates story was really good too. There's some crazy shit in there. Positive crazy shit. It's neat, like I am glad that there are like good ways to read Western comics now, and they're doing like a good job of doing these reboot type things that aren't just retelling the same story. They are putting new twists on it and making it like more modern and more interesting. Like I know that they're also doing like all those absolute stories at DC, and like
those are so good. Those are DC finally figuring out what made the Ultimate formula work and nailing it. Those are really good.
I know so many people that are like, dude, Absolute Martian Manhunter is like the best comic I've ever read. Like And they've got like 2 issues out, and they're like, no, but really, like they figured it out.
The only one that's kind of a dud is Absolute Green Lantern, and even that has promise.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about, because I was reading like all of the Ultimate stuff that's been releasing. The only one that I didn't really care that much for was Ultimate X-Men, which like the art was gorgeous because it's Peach Momoko. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But the writing, like, it was just kind of like spinning its wheels and wasn't really going anywhere. But like they're finally kind of going places now, so there's something to it. And it was also very like it was just off. Because like all of these different things are taking place in different parts of the world, because the whole ultimate story is that, you know, the maker has taken over this alternate world and all that shit. And so, you know, so these characters are in like Russia, these characters are over here, like, but this was set in Japan. It was like all these mutants in Japan, and it just still felt way more separated from everything else that was going on, and it just made me not really interested, because it was just like, yeah, they're not doing anything involved with the rest of the stuff. Like, you know, I don't know. It was just, it's whatever. But I really liked the Spider-Man one, and the Black Panther one had some cool moments too. I think that one is also maybe like a little weak here and there, but like it's got a lot of cool like action, and the characters are really cool. So it's still got my attention for sure. But again, like the thing that like super like confused me was they were like, oh yeah, no, there's a mutant in Japan. Like one of the characters in Ultimate X-Men has Storm's powers, like has the weather powers. But then Storm is just also there in the Black Panther comic.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know. It's very weird. It definitely feels like one of those things where like there's not enough like inner office like talk, like fuck, oh, I'm sorry, I put Storm in my thing too. Like, you know.
I did not want to interrupt y'all, but I did go through the entire Machine Dramon Google image search, and I didn't see nary a metal cock nor like a metal like hole that someone would stick a thing into on the Machine Dramon. Like not a single thing that could possibly have been reprehensible on the Machine Dramon search.
Did you remember to turn off safe search?
I mean, we don't want that to happen.
Right.
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't. Here's the thing: is I don't know whether or not
seeking it out because you heard about Machine
No.
Dramon.
If I wanted to seek it out, if I wanted to seek it out, I could just go Machine Dramon Rule 34 or whatever. You know, it wouldn't be that hard to search. Machine Dramon giant cock. It wouldn't be that hard. It wouldn't be. It's just on the standard Machine Dramon Google search, as far as I can tell, there's nothing objectionable. So do it? No, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
Thank you for this very important update.
I did find this though. It's not pornographic, but it is cute. It's cute. Okay. There's a quick one you can check out. I put it, you know what? I'll just show it. Yeah, and I don't think that's bad
medium
at all.
now.
Yeah. I don't think that's bad at all. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. That's awesome.
That's
adorable. I just want to say, like, this whole time, my mouse was hovering over the recirculate on Blue Sky, and I was like, maybe I don't want to send this to all my followers.
Why not? What's wrong? What's the problem?
A lot.
I mean, the self-admitted search for Metal Donut, you know, eludes us even now, so I think we need to move on to better and brighter pastures.
Let's talk about video games, maybe.
Yeah, we could talk about games now. We're 40 minutes in and we haven't really talked about games. We kind of did. All right, yeah, we could. Lorelai, why don't we start with you, because you're running the show.
Oh, you know exactly what I am.
Do I?
I'm excited to hear about.
You know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Yeah. Come on.
Hey, all right. Hey. Yeah, my hands are off the the wheel. Go ahead.
We're talking. We're talking about fucking Nioh 3.
They announced that, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going mad because everyone knows I'm the biggest Nioh freak.
I don't think that can be argued.
So I loaded it up, and all of a sudden I found that I didn't have access to stances. And I was
Crazy.
like,
Okay.
what the fuck is
Strange.
this? And then they immediately are like, oh, you can use your R2 to transform into a ninja. And I'm like, okay, did they get rid of stances for this? It turns out, no, you just need to spend a point to unlock it. Each
Weird.
one, and they're universal across your weapons, except for the ninja weapons. So I don't have my high stance Kusari Gamma, and I'm very upset about this. Because high stance Kusari Gamma was my shit. I did like 5 bazillion hours with one weapon because I just really enjoyed it.
That's really strange. So I just want to say these Team Ninja games, like, it feels like they've sort of been like not like chasing a trend, but it seems like each one sort of is a bit of a riff on another like major game that's come out. And it always felt like to me that like Rise of the Ronin was something that is like, here's our take on a like an
that's not even close to true, because you have literally bespoke, like, yes, you have an open world, but each chapter takes place in a completely different open world. What I'm saying is, like, Elden Ring.
I'm not saying it is. Here's our take on like here's our like attempt at an open world thing similar to that, or it's
when anyone compares. I'm sorry. It's like whenever anyone compares it to like Dark Souls, I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? There's nothing Dark Souls about.
It's a Souls-like. It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
is.
is.
Bespoke levels. You do not look over and see Anna Orlando
It's
from
the
any
gameplay
point.
style.
It is not. They are stages.
Totally is.
It is a Ninja Gaiden.
And the Souls levels are also stages. Okay, let's take it back. Let me try and get to my point. It's like Wolong was like them like sort of pairing it back in the same way like Sekiro was sort of like paired back from the Soul stuff. To me, this samurai and ninja dichotomy thing feels like, and it's probably just like it's not obviously not like a direct ripoff because it was like so close together, but it's like this feels like a sort of take on the like samurai and ninja dichotomy in like Assassin's Creed Shadows. You know what I mean? And like with like this sort of ability to switch, like this sort of the like their take on it being like the ability to switch between them on the fly.
No, you literally switch between them with the touch of a button.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Your ninja stuff is all lightweight armor, and your heavy armor is on your samurai stuff. So I feel like it was them adjusting to the fact of like Nioh had like very specific end game builds that people always use to be like the most broken and powerful, and that was usually like super heavyweight with a big sword. Because you could just stand there and take everything. Wolong had the exact same problem. And I do describe it as a problem because it made the game not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, like you could also do the lightweight where you dodged a ton. And that's how I always preferred how to play. And like this game having both of those on a single button where all you have to do is hit your right trigger, your right 2 trigger, and you swap. It feels so cool. Like, I got behind a guy. I'm going to swap to ninja because when you're on ninja, you do double damage when you hit something from behind.
Yeah.
And when you're on samurai, you just truck everything from the front and block a ton and stuff like that. So some monsters are really fun to fight as, like, I find myself switching a lot to adjust to, like, some of the enemy patterns. And also, they figured out my biggest problem with Rise of the Ronin. And they solved it. They still have each chapter has its own open world thing that Rise of the Ronin had.
Interesting.
But in Rise of the Ronin, you couldn't do co-op on the open world, which pisses me off to no end. I wrote about it in my Game of the Year thing. It drove me up the wall. I love those games. Not being able to like hang out on the open world with friends, especially in the harder difficulty where the open world started adding super bosses to all the bases you could take over. Like that's where the game shined, and I can't share that with my friends. They're fixing that with this. Nothing made me happier than running into Mizuki, which is like the first boss of Nioh 2, and just getting trucked over and over because they changed his attack patterns just enough. And also, he's an open, like in the open world, there are regular enemies and there are boss enemies, and the boss enemies have a significant more power. And it's really funny, like tearing apart a little gremlin monster and then running into the boss version of it, and it's like twice the height and just absolutely destroys you in like 2 hits. It feels good. It feels really like they finally nailed the balance they've been going for with the last couple. Like, really, my only issues so far are the ninja weapons don't have stances. The samurai weapons do. So I could still do the high, medium, low with katana, adachi, and spear, which are the only weapons for that in this demo, which there will probably be a ton more in the next alpha, which will probably come in like September or October, because that's how Team Ninja does this. They do an alpha, a few months later they do a second, and then a few months after that the game comes out, which will probably be around February. And like, but the weapons feel good. Like, a lot of the stuff from Nioh 2, my skills transferred over. So while I was having friends of mine who were just like really, really struggling with the first boss and the second actual boss, I just tore through them like butter because I play these games too much. But getting my ass kicked by Mizuki on the open world was like, holy shit. It's been a long time since I felt like this with one of those games. Like, I was exploring and just, it feels really good. And like, I just hope that the ninja weapons have stances when the game comes out, because
I mean, I'm less interested in the ninja weapons having stances and more of like the ninja and samurai classes having more distinct differences. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're significantly different.
Right.
Like, you can't absorb puddles when you're on the ninja class. You can't do a lot of you can't do key pulses and things like that, which are like the main thing of Nioh.
I wonder if what they were trying to do was like, for maybe like some sort of co-op sense, or maybe just from like just like a player diversity sense, is like, let's try and like actually have bespoke classes. And like another one of those might be like a monk character that specializes in like the magic of the game or something, you know what I mean?
No, they've already shown how the magic works.
No, I'm just saying, like, if they were doing more classes like this is probably something else that they could do.
Yeah.
But they probably didn't work out the way they wanted to, and instead were like, well, we can roll ninja and samurai together, let them still be distinct classes, but let you play as both at the same time. And I wonder if there's going to be more of an incentive to switch between them, other than like ninja is probably what you want to do when you're sneaking around, and samurai is what you want to do when you're like heads up with another enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it's so far it's like very cool. Like, you kind of saw in the Chooch chat like I don't know if this has the sauce, and then me like 10 minutes later, holy shit, no, this has the fucking sauce. This has the sauce. I'm really excited to see where it goes because of the way they do their alphas, because of like Nioh 1 sucked ass on its first alpha that they released. By the time the game came out, it became good.
it's not that it sucked. It's that like there was clearly promise there. There's a really strong like there's a really strong idea, but like the like it wasn't coming together in its opening stages the way they wanted to. So like that like now they have this tradition of like, well, let's put this out there, see what the people have to say about it, because like after we listen to the people, Nioh turned into like a way better game from their feedback.
And Nioh 2 got significantly better from its first beta. Same with Wolong and Stranger of Paradise and stuff like that. Like, one thing I appreciate about Team Ninja is they are the only company that releases a beta test that is actually being treated like a beta test and not a pre-order bonus. It is, hey, we are
it's not like it's not like a buy this, get it like 4 days early thing. Yeah. No, this is like an actual thing where they're like, the best way we're getting like actual feedback on this is like putting it out to people.
Like, I know when the next beta comes out, it's going to be an improvement over this one. And then I know the final game will be an improvement over that one because it's their history. Like, and I appreciate that history.
Yeah. And part of it also doesn't feel like outsourcing playtesting, because obviously these games are being playtested like fuck to make sure they're not broken. But it's like there's an aspect to that as well, where it's like the community feedback is extremely positive in such a way that it's like it justifies them making these vertical slice builds to put out there that they would otherwise, like most other companies probably wouldn't even bother putting out the resources. Like, it's been such a positive experience for them all around.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'm really excited about. It's part of why I wanted to come on the pod and talk about it, because it's you know.
I know. Trust me, I know you're going to talk about Nioh 3.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. I'm hoping it's good enough that the game of the generation gimmick can come back, but I don't think it is. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
well, I highly doubt it. But
it's been a while since I've touched one of these, but I really like Nioh 2. Nioh 2 is such.
I legitimately like Rise of the Ronin knocking it off my top 10 list for the first time in 5 years. Is I finally got my itch scratched a little bit.
That's good. I'm glad.
All right.
I'm glad you've been scratched.
It's delightful.
Sometimes you really need that itch scratch.
Yeah.
All right. Scott, we can hit you now. What's going on? What do you got?
Hey, you hear this Nightreigning game? Hey, you hear this game where they did the Dark Souls? They made Elden Ring. They turned it into a Fortnite roguelike. It's pretty good. I've completely beaten it at this point, beaten every boss. I've done every remembrance. I have like a small handful of achievements left that I need to pick up from it. But it's like, man, what a like cool little experiment. You know what I mean? It's really strange in a lot of ways, because it's like you can tell that the people who write Elden Ring or like From stuff, or like the normal From stuff, were not the same people who were writing stuff for this. It's a very different style of writing. It's a very different like style of game in a lot of ways. Like obviously structurally, but also like the mythos of it is really strange in terms of like this technically still takes place in the Elden Ring world, but weirdly doesn't, because it's some sort of weird offshoot. We're all over the place in terms of like there's multiverse stuff happening. There's potential like tie-ins to stuff that's happening, the stuff that happened in Dark Souls specifically. Like, not just the Dark Souls characters, but it's like, hey, did we maybe accidentally name a Dark Souls god that's gone unnamed before? Who knows? Honestly, not really that important. Not really that big of a deal, all things. If you're going to this thinking about the lore, you really have to like, you kind of just need to put it aside and just have fun. And that's what this game is really good at.
You're never going to be able to stop people from thinking about the lore.
Yeah, I didn't stop. I didn't stop.
Exactly.
And they really like encourage it too, because there's some shit that happens in this game that you go and like double take on, and you're like, hold on a second, that seems important.
But is
like, I guess there's a really important thing that happens at the end of the like normal playthrough that you do that you're like, well, that seems like that's gonna be what Elden Ring 2 is. That seems pretty important. But we'll see. We'll see. I find it really fun. I really enjoy all the characters. I don't think I really have a main because I tend to switch between all of them a lot, but probably the one I play the most is the Duchess, who's the rogue character. She's the one that's like the fastest, has like the best little dodges. She has a whole bunch of like cool sub abilities you can equip. I have one like special like piece of equipment that I have for her, where every time she pulls off a full combo, she just automatically uses her reprise ability, which just does the damage that an enemy just took again. And it's a free cast. I don't need to spend my ability to use it. It just goes off on its own. And then on top of that, because it's completely free, if I have my reprise up, I can hit it both at the same time. It's crazy. She has so many cool abilities.
There you go.
It's like her like invisibility thing feels really strange because it's like, I don't know why this is the ult. Like sure, I go invisibility. I make my team invisible for a minute. It's decent if I'm trying to like res one of my teammates who just got downed, but that only lasts for so long, and I need to be able to do a whole bunch of damage in the meantime. But it's like, it doesn't matter. The rest of her stuff is so fun. It's like every single time I like think about the characters, I'm like, man, I really want to see what more DLC of this game specifically looks like. Like,
I mean, they are doing that, right?
It did say there's going to be DLC.
I saw in that trailer it said DLC. So
it says DLC. No idea what that could possibly mean. It could
be more stages or routes or whatever. It could be characters. It could be
more bosses,
costumes,
more costumes. Let's get a Sekiro costume in there.
Oh hell yeah!
For the Executor, it would be crazy. How nuts that would be. But it's like, man, it's just a fun game. Like, I know I'm in way too many like Souls fan discords, especially because I like doing PvP and stuff. That's just my shit. I'm a stupid motherfucker. And there's so many of them who went into this just like totally like uninterested. They don't feel like that type of game is going to be particularly fun. They don't want this type of game when it comes from a From thing. But like, I like Fortnite. I've come to accept that I like roguelikes like probably more than I'm willing to admit. And it's like they've somehow managed to combine these in a way that feels so natural, but also is super, super fun in a team setting. Just going in and being like, okay, I'm gonna ping this, and then we're just gonna go here, like do all the like team coordination we need to do up front, and like making those on the fly decisions is so cool. I love how well the characters like interplay with each other. I love the what's her name? The Revenant. She's probably like most of these characters are like, I'm a warrior, but I'm so sad. You know what I mean? Classic Dark Souls. The Revenant, the first time you talk to her, she is the most like her character is the cute character. She's the one that has like the harp. She looks like, so she's the smallest character. She looks like she's wearing like an ornate dress, and you go and talk to her and she's like, fuck you, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I don't give a shit about you. And she's just this like, she's just like the one who wants to murder the most, and it's like, man. And I go and play her, like, I play through her storyline, and her storyline is all about how, like, dark and evil she is, and how she has to purge the evil from her brain. It's like, man, they somehow, like, really nailed it with this. It's so fun. And her character's, like, playstyle is so unique, too, because it's based on, like, it's based on summoning. You get 3 different, like, characters you can summon to fight alongside you. One of them's like a small, agile one. The other is like a big one that has like a, can slam people. And the other one is a gigantic skeleton that is completely immobile. But it's very big, it hits very hard, and also has a huge laser beam. So it's like, yeah, so you get this like cool dynamic of like, okay, which character is going to benefit me the most when I need them? And on top of that, she has this really awesome ult where like, while it's active, no one on your team can die. They can still take damage. They just can't get to like, they just can't go past like 1 HP. But you can get a modifier for it that also turns it into a nuke. It's like,
hell yeah.
All right.
It's so sick. They just like, they keep thinking of all these like really fun ideas of just like, how can we make these things you already enjoy doing even cooler? And that's the thing I'm like really excited from in terms of like more updates to this is like, okay, how can we take these characters and add even more weird modifiers to make them even more interesting? You know what I mean? Like the Guardian character has so many that are just like, take my like weird like whirlwind uppercut ability and also make it last for fucking like an entire minute. So there's just a tornado spinning around for a really long time. Stuff like that. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
The archer character, it has one where if you charge your ult up like fully, which is completely free, like it takes some time, but it's like as long as you're locked onto someone, you're for sure gonna hit them, and also you're completely invulnerable while it happens. If you charge your ult up to full, it also just adds like a really strong poison stack, and it's like, okay, I don't know why you wouldn't always do that, but you should.
Why not?
It's weird. It's like some people just don't. Some random players don't realize like these like really tiny things of like, oh, there's some people whose ults you could charge, or like I've run into so many random players who like when we get to the end of the run, I'll see like nothing in their inventory because they never realized, oh, every single piece of equipment you have has like a passive, and it's like, what are you people fucking doing? I need you to be on your shit because we need to go. We need to go fast. I don't know. It's fun. I'm at the point now where I don't know if I'm gonna play more of it on my own or just like wait for friends who want to play with it. But it's like I still have that strong urge to just boot it up and do a few runs again, just because.
Well, it's there.
Yeah,
it's there. I've been having a fun time.
Like
really good.
It's one of the games I want to pick up. Like I know we've talked about how we want to do Elden Ring co-op together, but God, I also want to do this.
Yeah, it's fun. Just like get a few runs in. It's cool because it's like it also encourages like build diversity in interesting ways. Like if you're going into a From game, you probably either have a character in mind with the weapons that you want to use, or it's like, I'm going to go in this direction, and then, like, eventually I'm going to get a great sword, and that's what I'm going to use for, like, the whole game. And because you can't pick the weapons that you're going to get, you have to use what you can find. It encourages this, like, this mentality of, like, okay, I'm going to try this thing I've never used before and see how it goes. And that is so fun.
Yeah.
I love that it encourages that sort of, like, play style.
Honestly, like my most recent, like I gotten to the point with like Nioh where my last playthrough, anytime a weapon drops that's an upgrade over what I have to equip it regardless of what it is. So I started using all the other weapons like fucking hatchets and stuff like that, which I had never touched before. And it's suddenly like, oh, when you engage with these games and actually engage with everything they have to offer and have to, it you realize how good like a game like this or Elden Ring or can be, because there's so much depth.
Mm-hmm. I even was going like last night. I was just sitting there and looking at Dark Souls 3 weapons on like the Dark Souls 3 wiki, being like, if I played it again, what would I mess with? And I just look at it and I'm like, there's so much cool stuff in here that's like not in Elden Ring, and it's like they make this awesome shit and they're just like, all right, we're done. That's just in that game. Not gonna bring it back. It's fine. Don't even think about it. If you play this again, you'll get to play with this. That's fine. That's it. It's really interesting because it's like there's stuff in Dark Souls 3 that's like, okay, here's a scimitar that is also a pyromancy glove. So it's like you can run up and do these like sick ass like backflip combos into throwing a fireball at someone. That's crazy. You can't do that shit in these other games. They just don't let you. You gotta get the cool stuff in.
Hey.
Yeah, Nightreign's cool. And Nightreign also has the benefit of being a $40 game. So it's like pretty like, in terms of games being expensive nowadays, they sort of give it to you on that one. That one's just kind of free. Well, it's $40. It's not free, but it's like it's cheaper than most of the other ones, especially all this shit on the Switch too.
It's like half price game.
Half price game, full price fun. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you very much. Lily, do you have a Souls-like that you want to talk about? Actually, you know what? Actually, there's a non-zero chance you do because of the Liza P stuff, so hang on.
Let's go.
I mean, I could talk about Liza P, but truthfully, it is just going to turn into me being like, Liza P good. I actually haven't. I have not gotten to the DLC yet. I've been doing a fourth playthrough all the way from the beginning, so I can get to that. But here is my bona fides here. We've talked about, the Nioh 3. We've talked about Nightreign. Now's the part where I bring us down into like the slimy underdark of gaming, where I go poking around in like the cult pits of the underdark here. So I'm going to go briefly run through some demos, and then I can talk about and hopefully explain what the heck is going on with my picture this week.
Okay, sure, that works.
So, in rapid order, first demo I played for Next Fest, Pigface. So, if you know anything about the older Rockstar game Manhunt, this is like the first-person shooter equivalent of that. You are basically a woman kind of trapped in an almost like exploitation film type scenario where she has to do jobs for a unseen handler. Obviously, I know that Next Fest ends like tomorrow, so if you have the opportunity, get on all of these. This one is really interesting because it's basically doing the mission-based hub structure. So you kind of have like the Hotline Miami-esque spin to it, where you have those kinds of elements. We also had Mina the Hollower, which was obviously by the Shovel Knight folks. My opinion on this one, I think, is going to be kind of interesting because I think in an odd way, it does kind of it traces back to the Souls-like thing, even if it is clearly trying to do like a Game Boy Advance Zelda type thing, or Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Zelda.
Yeah, it's Link's Awakening. It's trying to be Link's Awakening.
But it's odd because they are essentially also doing like this almost Bloodborne-esque vibe, especially because you have vials that you have to replenish at. I mean, again, not every checkpoint is automatically a bonfire. It's more like a base that follows you in this game. But I'm almost of this kind of opinion with Mina the Hollower that it's going to be a little bit more divisive than Shovel Knight ever was, just because we are in this kind of situation where you are doing something a little bit more expansive, something that can be a little bit less digestible, because you actually have like dodge timings with like the digging mechanics and stuff. All of that is incredibly interesting. I think they might need to dial a few things in, but I think it has a lot of wonderful potential. Ball Pit was also one of the ones that we talked about on the podcast last week. That game is a game that I can see as being legitimately dangerous to some people.
Yeah, I messed around with it too. I still need to play through a few more of those Next Fest demos, but I actually messed around with Ball Pit, and yeah, that shit is crazy.
Well, it is like 4 different like addiction magnet games all in one game.
Yes, it is.
So it's the vampire survivor elements, it is like the loop hero elements, you have the roguelite elements that we've been seeing more and more. That is very much going to be like the, oh god, I didn't realize it was 4 a.m. quality of gaming that we're seeing more and more of.
Oh, hell yes.
The other game that I played, which was interesting because they're basically doing this kind of 2-prong approach, was Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which was the 2D reprisal of the old Ninja Gaiden games. And what's interesting here is that they're kind of borrowing a lot of elements that you see from games like Shinobi, as well as some elements from Strider, interestingly enough, because it has like all the climbing elements. But the thing that's interesting about Shinobi is that it's almost like the PS2 Shinobi, where it's you basically need to get a charge to instantly kill the scariest enemies, and that way that kind of keeps the flow up. I think that is going to be one of those games that is going to be absolutely delightful to see a speedrun of. But I kind of am interested in how they are going to do all of the elements crossing over with like the other aspect to your character, where your character is basically 2 characters at once.
Okay, yeah, because you just like you hot swap.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to talk about the picture. So,
The picture.
My picture for this week is in reference to the game that has been devouring my life recently, which is Aneurysm 4. Now, I understand that the conversation around it is very easy for a person to be like, it's like Dark RP was like a standalone game. But let me give you a sales pitch here.
Okay.
So you know City 17 from Half-Life 2.
Of
course.
Obviously,
you told me not to go.
Obviously, you have a status quo before Dr. Freeman shows up. This whole game is basically playing in that status quo.
Oh.
And to explain what I mean, I will use Final Fantasy XIV as a framing device.
Ooh, I understand this.
Lorelai's eyes just lighting up, like bulging out of her head.
I understand that reference.
So, Final Fantasy XIV is, by all qualifiers, an MMO. But the thing that we've seen changing over time with the MMO space is that the aggression of social dependency kind of goes down lower and lower and lower with, a particular societal reason. Like, you don't really want to worry about the social friction of doing your dailies. You kind of just pop into Duty Finder and you hit, put me in the dungeon, please, Mr. P. And you go in there, you do your dailies, and maybe you idle in Limsa for a little bit, and then you log out.
Woo!
Aneurysm 4 is a game of violent social interdependency. This is a game where if you do not play off of your fellow players, you are going to have the most miserable experience imaginable.
All right.
Because this is a game where you cannot do basically anything by yourself. On the lowest level, there are proles, short for proletariat. These are your laborers. Your life is worthless. You are the kind of person that other people in other jobs kill for fun. Your job is to make sure that the city doesn't die under its own weight. And that may sound soul-crushing, but then because you realize that your life is valueless, you can do the dumbest things imaginable playing off of the strengths of other people. And it's the fun part of simply experimenting. And when you kind of slowly build up that interdependency, it's not even necessarily an RP game. Because you kind of all desperately need one another, you are put in situations where you kind of do need to come out of your shell. You need to say, does anyone have this? Can anyone help me with this?
Right. It's RP like reinforced by like mechanics, essentially.
Yeah, like you become a person living in this terrible, horrible city, but that works because, like, this is also going to be a strange comparison, but that kind of works. This is like multiplayer pathologic. You have at all times like 6 meters constantly ticking down. You have your sanity ticking down, you have your food ticking down, you have your water ticking down. And if you're not making money, you are starving to death.
I think you just sold me on this thing.
Yeah, it's really
a lot
cool.
of people on this.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's you played it more than I have. I've only just like watched people play it, but like the cool thing about it is like the like most people will play as a pro, but on top of that, there's like other like classes with like different like layers of like class disparity between them. Like if you earn enough, it's like you earn enough social credit that when you reincarnate the next time, you can choose to be like a guy who sells stuff or a cop or like. If there's room, you can join like a weird underground cult that's trying to like destroy the city and plunge everyone into anarchy and like cause the apocalypse. There's so much like weird, strange stuff in this game.
Yeah, like the thing with, so there's basically the generic faction where they don't really have an incentivized allegiance to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your proles, you have your bankers, you have your dealers, you have liquidators who are like the people who clean up all the dead bodies. And then on the one faction, you have Cortex, who are your cops. They are your law and order. They are the guys who, on the social hierarchy, they are the highest. So if a person who is a Cortex member is playing to their role, it is kind of their socially mandated right to be a dick to you.
Yeah.
Like, they can stop you in the street, they can look through all of your stuff, they can do a whole bunch of stuff to you, and you cannot do anything back. And that is by design.
Mm-hmm.
And that pushes people naturally to the more inexpensive role, which is scum, which is like the cultists. And the thing is, because of like, and again, this doesn't sound like a selling point, but it is, because of how boring and like drudgery inducing like the menial labor is as a prole, you get super immersed because you're in this position where you're just like, okay, I'm folding laundry, okay, the fire alarm won't stop going off. Is that a gun? And then you dead because someone just decided to shoot you for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this works wonderfully because of the fact that, like, when you get so bored by something, the highs are so high that it just completely is an experience unlike anything else. And because you had to grind to even have the privilege of playing as some of these roles, you almost get more precious about your life in a way that you don't if you're playing like, Call of Duty or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty too is like because a lot of it is like social interaction. Even like playing as the lower class, like even playing as a prole is like that's still fun because you're still going up and talking to other proles and being like, we're basically like RPing together, like being the scum of the earth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, that's the fun thing is like you have these like completely impromptu but absolutely genuine social interactions that come from like, dude, I'm like 2 cents short on the soda machine. Can you please give me like 2 cents? And then like the guy that I was like in the server with is like, yeah, I'll give you 2 cents. Like, do like a little dance for me real quick. And I'll be like, I guess. And then I just like spin around in a circle, and he's like, that's good enough. Gives me 2 cents.
It incentivizes this very like transactional sort of way people are treating each other, like even in the smallest, like most menial ways. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, it's because like this absolute power fantasy that comes from actually being able to play like the armed roles. You get these like fun situations where, because like again, you're in like a deathmatch based game, two people are kind of incentivized by the design of the game to shoot each other. If you're playing as Scum and you see a prole running around, you can be like, hey buddy, hey, come over here real quick. I'm gonna give you a gun. Go and shoot that cop real quick. It'll be really funny. And the prole's like, I guess.
I mean, that does sound funny.
Truly.
But yeah,
potentially.
If anything I said sounds even remotely interesting, the game is $10. I would highly recommend that you try it out.
I legitimately just bought it.
It is also a multiplayer game that encourages voice chat, so like you do kind of need to worry about that a bit, but I think the beautiful thing of it is like every single role also like has like a modified voice to it as well. So the police like characters sound pretty much exactly like the what are they called? The guys
Combine.
from Half-Life. The Combine, yes. And
Yeah,
like some dudes just sound like complete, like you almost can't even understand them. Their voices are so distorted.
It's me, Meatwad, and I'm here to kill some guys.
They should have a Meatwad voice.
Gun and shoot a dude.
So that's literally the banker in this game. Like the banker class has like a turned up like picture on the voice.
Hey guys, I think we're going to do some math. So $2, that's like 4 quarters, right?
One of paper equals 4 of coin.
Ah.
I know that.
Wait. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was still in Meatwad brain.
It's okay. Welcome back. Well, for John, I finished Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.
Yay! Let's go!
Yeah.
Applause.
Yes. I'm glad that I finished it. I think that game is decent.
It's okay, we're allowed to be wrong.
Look, Xenoblade to me is the thing that I really love about it is the characters and the interaction between them, and I think that X has a lot less of that than the other ones. But the new stuff that they added in the Definitive Edition was exactly what I wanted. It was the characters rallying together, having more to say and do together. Because I loved the gameplay. I loved going around and exploring, and I loved all the combat options, the skills, and I loved so much about it, but I just prefer what they ended up doing with 2 and then 3. Like 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. So please, like that is just what I appreciate out of a Xenoblade. But then Definitive Edition was like, hey, what if we add all this new stuff? And I think people didn't like the new stuff that they added. I've been seeing a lot of people being like, it screwed everything up. It made it not it ruined the mystery, because it wraps stuff up. It actually like brings together what was going on in original X. But I liked it just because they added a new character, and that new character is like the best character in the game.
And is like the biggest. Oh, wait. I mean, they added 2 new characters, and one of them being like the biggest lesbian in the world made me really happy.
I mean, she's good. Don't get it twisted, but I fucking love Al. Al is the best character in that game. He is
and the ability he gives you is so fucking broken.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I could do a billion damage without needing to charge my super meter.
Yeah. Yep.
Take me to...
Al's great. I really liked what he added to everything. Like, just how he brought the whole group together. Like, he was the glue that stuck everyone together and made more of the interactions happen, you know? Like, I liked what they were doing with Lynn near the end of the game, where she's like, you know, having all these internal struggles with, you know, wanting to help humanity, but also understanding like why things happen the way that they did. And like, that's an interesting take and all that. And then I think having Al come in and have that, you know, internal struggle happen, it was neat. It was really neat. And yeah, his mech is fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool. I am so glad that they did this definitive edition, and I'm glad that I played it.
I think my favorite part of the whole thing is it really ties together how they got from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, there were like 5 side quests that actually mattered. Like, almost none of it mattered, and if you sat there doing all of the side quests, you were just wasting time, and they were not good. They didn't add anything to the world. They didn't, you know, a significant amount of it. But then you get to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or X, where all of the side quests do something that affects the world. They move characters around. They sometimes, if you do one wrong, a character will die and whatnot. They aren't important, but they do really good world building. Like, if you don't do any side quests, you don't find out that the Manon love pizza and obsess about
and that's important. You need to know that they love pizza.
Exactly, so that you can stop the guy from winning the election to become on the board to change the currency into pizza.
Yeah, you have to actively fuck up an election because he wants to turn the economy into a pizza-based economy.
But it is like the side quests in X finally mattered. Like, especially the character side quests, which was where all the good writing was. The main story, not exactly the greatest thing in the world, but a lot of the character side quests were phenomenal. And then you get, you know, it's what Xenoblade Chronicles 2 built off of, where side quests start moving or things in the world and changing where people are and changing their relationship with you and things like that. They started to matter. And then 3, the side quests were mostly what mattered. Like, oh, Chef's beautiful thing.
Yeah. So again, like I don't think any of the Xenoblade games are like bad or anything like that. Absolutely not.
Terrible.
Like, I think they're all great games. They're all fantastic games. But my tier list is basically just reverse release order. Like, it's just like 3 is my favorite, and then 2, then X, and then 1, and it's just like, yeah, you know, it's. But again, like I would say that 1 is the only one where I have like a lot of complaints, because there are a lot of things wrong with 1, but it was also like them figuring that out. So I don't think it's horrible. I have, you know, some stuff that I would say about it, but like, I think because there's a lot of people that only played Xenoblade 1 and then never played any of the other ones. I think they are missing out.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of good in 1. Like, some of the characters are good, and there's a neat, like, the concept is really cool, the world is really cool, but God, like, all of those other games are so much better. They build on it so much, and again, like, I really think that what they added in Definitive Edition of X shows what they can do with that style of game, and take what they've learned from all these other games that they've made and turn it into something really cool. Like, I really want, like, you know, I think there was like an art book or something where they said like, they were like, oh yeah, we want to do Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and then we want to do X2, and they have done 3 now. So I'm guessing that their next project is probably X2, and I'm very excited for that now, because it's like, okay, if they do this gameplay, this kind of open world, bring scales back, let us have cool ass mechs, and then have the writing and the side quests of 3, that's gonna be like that's gonna probably be the best one right there.
And if they continue with their policy of, hey, we know this shit's broken, yeah, we ain't gonna fix it. You want to do 1 billion damage? Do 1 billion damage. Like, literally, I can one-hit kill the biggest super boss in the game. And, you know, I love it. Like, I love being able to go, oh, you knocked me out of my skell? Being in the skell was me giving you a chance. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, I love Xenoblade, and I'm going to go back to the other ones. Like, I got like halfway through Xenosaga 1, and that was not because I didn't like it. That was just, you know, gaming and all that. So I'm gonna get back to those for sure. I guess part of me is kind of just like, because I'm the freak who's like, I want to own the games before I play them. And I tell everyone else to not be like me, to just emulate, please don't do this to yourself. But my problem is that I guess I'm kind of dragging my feet, because I don't want to finish 1 and 2 and then just be like, oh, I'll get to 3 eventually, and then never get to it because it's expensive. But then also I'm worried that I'm gonna end up buying a copy of 3, and then they're gonna say, oh, we have a remaster that is way cheaper than buying the $200 copy of Xenosaga 3. So
I mean, I could also send you a disc.
I mean, I would want to purchase it. So if you are up to sell me a copy of Xenosaga 3, we could talk about that. But if not, then I mean, like, I appreciate the offer, but this is just my brain worms. This is just me having brain problems of wanting to put it on my stupid shelf. So it's like, again, this is not reasonable. This is not me being reasonable. This is just me being bad at playing video games. Don't be like me. Literally, don't be like me, please. And then also Xenogears as well, too. Yeah. I will get to that as well. That one probably has less of a chance of being re-released, though, because
that one's in like an it's in like an interlinked copyright hell between like all the people who made it and the people who own the production rights and the console generation that it was in. It's just such a nightmare to get everyone on board for that again. It's so unlikely. You might as well just play it.
Yeah. But Xenosaga, it's like that team and like Bandai Namco, and Nintendo is super chill with Bandai Namco now, because I don't remember, do they full on buy Monolith Soft, or they have like a controlling something like that? Yeah, there it is. That's wonderful. There you go.
You can just play it. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah,
you can just play it.
Exactly.
I have a lot of problems. Okay, let's just be honest.
I don't want to talk about how much money I spent on that.
The funniest part is, like, that I still have like the original copies that like my uncles bought, but I don't have a PS1 at this point, so I just have my copy of Xenogears that I just pick up to look at from time to time.
Yeah, I mean,
see, I love that if I walk through my house, we're able to do a walk through my house, you would have a glass case with 4 different PS1s in it.
That's something.
Because I have one modded to play PAL. I have one modded to play Japanese. I have one modded to play stuff. And yeah,
I mean, you can also play it on the PS2. So not that big.
Fair
of a deal.
point.
Not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. I have some cool expensive games. You know, I'm not above it. But at the same time, you know, I
still think my favorite expensive game thing that I've ever experienced was I bought a copy of Suikoden 3 way back in the day when it was still relatively new. for $180, I think it was. And then 2 days later, they announced a re-release.
Yeah,
and they
I'm sorry.
reprinted it.
Look,
What you know about this?
What do I know about that?
What do
I
you
know
know about
about
this? Hang
that's-
on. All right, are we just showing off? Is that what's going on?
Hotel
here? Hang on.
Mario?
There's a Hotel Mario.
Or were we just
Look, I don't just got Hotel Mario. I got the review disc.
Fair enough.
All right? Don't try me. Don't fucking try me.
I
just thought you'd get a kick out of it, is all. I just thought you'd like it.
Yeah.
I do.
What do you know about this? I know everything about this.
And then if we're talking about most expensive video game thing that we got, I got Pokemon Box.
Oh hell yeah, Pokemon
This
Box.
Is pretty good.
This is $1,000. This is a rent payment right here. I have the memory card, but I think it's in my GameCube right. Yes, it's in my GameCube right now.
Beautiful.
But
let me take a look here. I got here's Pokemon Fire Red.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a Pokemon Emerald.
If y'all, I love how that looks with your fucking green screen.
Here's Pokemon Crystal, and here's Pokemon Crystal.
There you go.
Yo, if all y'all walking around means I gotta edit like 10 minutes of fucking extra audio out of the pot,
I'm sorry.
We're gonna fucking fist fight. I'm gonna be like,
okay. I'm sitting down. I'm
fucking
seated now. We're good. We're done.
Gamesline podcast episode 54, whipping it out.
Well, now you have your title, so it's okay. We said the names of all the games, so okay.
Yeah, we got it. We're good. We're good.
Should we talk about like one of the two multiple subjects that we've all got?
Sure, we can do that. So the Deltarune came out, chapters 3 and 4. We can talk about that. I haven't finished it. I haven't finished chapter 4.
I also haven't finished chapter 4. I'm like halfway.
I'm just kind of dragging my feet. I have a weird opinion about this.
Interesting.
And it's because I do really love Toby Fox's stuff. I do really love Deltarune. I do really love Undertale. But I started to realize something about how these games are releasing and also how people are interacting with them. And it's just kind of frustrating because I'm just sitting there like, I want to just experience those games.
Mm-hmm.
I want to experience this game in the way that I feel like I want to. But I almost feel like I can't fully do that unless I wait for everyone to tell me what I need to do like the extra stuff. You know, like I've because like when I originally played through Undertale, I got to the true ending pretty. I mean, I just did that.
Yeah, it's pretty. It naturally onboards you onto it because it's like you're most likely going to go through the neutral ending, and then just like it just like naturally tells you here's what you got to do to go get to the good ending.
Yeah, and then if you want to do the kill 'em all ending, I mean, I don't.
It's part of the game. They criticize you for it. That's the point.
Which, that's fine and all that. But like, that's also something that I feel like you can find relatively naturally. Like that's something that people started talking about, obviously, but that's something that's in the game that you can stumble upon. If you just start grinding it out, and like you see you're leveling up, and so you're gonna be like, oh, you know what? Let's level up. Let's see what happens, and then you see what happens, and then you get curious and you keep going, and yada yada yada. But then the problem there is that, like, in Deltarune, I feel like stuff has gotten a little bit too far in that regard. And the weird route is definitely the big one, where it's like, okay, yeah, you have to do these very specific things in Chapter 2 or else you can't get on it. But I think there's also just other stuff where it's just like, yeah, like, there's, like, a whole, like, thing where it's like, you have to have done the secret boss in chapter 2, and then you just stumble upon this room, and then you get a special scene. And then there's also stuff where it's like, yeah, if you like, I didn't know you could like in chapter 3, I didn't know that you could like buy your way to getting an S rank to see all that extra stuff. I just missed that. That was all stuff that I would have absolutely done, but I just played through the game.
Yeah, I found the guy you could buy it from and didn't have enough points, so I'm just like, well, just not gonna do it, I guess.
Yeah, but then like I would have interacted with that aspect of the game. It just I didn't stumble upon it naturally, and that's just kind of frustrating. So I'm just sitting here, just like I kind of want to like sit there and see the list of things that I have to do.
Right,
but there's also that just kind of takes the wind out of my sails too.
A little bit, yeah.
I think
I think my approach is like it's been sort of similar to yours, but I'm not stressing extra content as much, you know? Like I'm not going after super bosses. I'm not like trying to find every single thing I can. And it's like I'll do these things in these chapters where it's like, oh, I could have definitely done this, but I forgot to, or I missed my chance to do this. Maybe at some point I'll go back around to it. And it's like I'll look at my playtime, and it's like I have like 8 hours on this so far. I'm like close to finishing chapter 4. But then it's like I'll look at my friend's playtime, and it's like, oh, someone spent like 40 hours on this recently. I don't know how you did that, but
yeah.
Like you replayed the game again, and also you did a whole bunch of extra secret hunting and stuff, and it's like, I respect the hell out of that.
It's part of the reason
it's so stressful.
Yeah, it's part of the reason
I get being stressed by it. Yeah,
it's part of the reason I haven't streamed it. Is
I can't imagine it. I can't imagine
one of the I've tuned into friends of mine streaming, and it's just like them being backseated the entire time.
Yeah, that sounds like fucking a nightmare.
And I'm just like, oh, I see why you've turned off your chat for playing through this game immediately. And it's like,
just play it on your own. You don't even need to stream it at that point.
The amount of people who like, I think this one's notorious for it. Dark Souls fans are also just absolute dog shit about like, I want to be able to actually experience these games for myself. I'm sorry. I don't fucking care if I didn't build my character the exact way I should. Like,
you want to know? Oh, please go ahead. Go by all means.
I was just gonna say that I think I have in like the gaming space a potentially controversial opinion in this kind of regard.
Okay.
And I want to center it around a singular word here: authenticity. So, with the original game, Undertale, we have the kind of spectrumized experience of perfect pacifist, neutral, and then the genocide route. With all of that, both extremes, even the pacifist route, kind of pokes fun at you for your lack of authenticity.
Yes.
Now, when I play these games, Dark Souls, Lies of P, Deltarune, all of that, in my normal life, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I worry a lot about playing something to the desired, I guess, normative experience. Like, I've had the experience that feels quite bad to play a game that is beloved. Like, I've played Elden Ring and I've played The Witcher 3, and I think both of those games are kind of rubbish.
Well, you're wrong. You're just flat out wrong, but okay.
I mean, no.
But my experiences with both of those are mine.
Of course.
And at the end of the day, playing something like Deltarune and Undertale and trying to see all of there is to see, it's not even like the genocide route is a critique of violence in video games, which I think is the surface level opinion. The genocide route is a condemnation of the inauthentic action of doing something not because you want to, but because you have to see it all. You have to see all the content. You have to swallow the entire universe to say, I've experienced all of this. I don't need to touch it anymore.
Right. It's critique on completionism, which is like, it's even like critique on, like they even go so far as like to criticize completionism by proxy of like, if someone like he goes out of his way to be like, oh, you're just watching someone else do this, then like you're just as bad as they are. You know what I mean?
And so part of it, just to kind of answer what you're saying, which I do agree with. My problem, I guess, is I think part of it is the release, the way that it's being released is just like, I feel kind of weird about being like, okay, am I gonna be able to actually have the experience that I want to have, not that I feel like I need to have because I need to see all the bits of the story. It's more like I'm gonna be missing stuff that I absolutely want to see just because I don't know that there's a room over here or that there's this thing that I can interact with, and that's kind of frustrating. And then it's going to ripple into the future where it's just like, well, I missed this thing 3 chapters ago. Now I'm just going to miss a bunch of stuff for the rest of the experience of this game, even though I'm trying my best to reach out to it. That just sucks, you know? Like, it's stuff that I want to interact with. It's not that I feel like I need to. It is just, I love this world. I want to see more of it. And it's frustrating to interact with it in that way. So I'm in this rock and a hard place kind of thing where it's like, I almost do want to just wait until it all comes out in like 2027 or whatever, but also everything's going to get spoiled already. Like, I've pretty much been spoiled on everything, even though I haven't finished chapter 4. And like, you know, that's partially my fault because I absolutely could have finished it by now. But
don't ever blame yourself for getting spoiled. It's not your fault. Yeah. It's not your fault.
You know, and I also understand, you know, the whole like a spoiler shouldn't ruin anything because it's all about like interacting with the story.
It still totally does. Like, like people who say there's a like philosophical like part of that where I'm like, yeah, I understand. Like, if something is good enough, then being spoiled on it shouldn't totally affect it. But it's like part of writing a good story is also surprise, and you want to be surprised by the things that you're doing, like you're seeing, especially for the first time.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, you know. You should never feel bad about getting spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's not, you know, that's whatever. It's more just like, I just wish that there was. I mean, I don't actually know the answer. Honestly, I don't know what I could say. Like, this is what Toby Fox needs to do. Like, no, because this is just the reality of how this game is being released,
right?
And the reality of how it's structured. And how I'm interacting with it. So it's my own frustration, and it might not be an issue for a lot of other people, because, I mean, some people might just be like, oh, I saw the new stuff on YouTube that I missed. That's cool. Sure, that's fine. But, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it just feels weird to be like, I feel like I should be playing through this with a walkthrough. But then at the same time, by the time a walkthrough is written, I've already seen everything online, you know, and it's just like, again, like I explicitly, I started playing chapter 3 like the second it dropped. Like, I saw on like Blue Sky, Toby was like, it's up, and I hopped on it, and I missed a bunch of stuff because I didn't know it was there. So. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've been fine about avoiding spoilers. I haven't even like tried to like mute tags or anything. I've seen a couple things, but it's like, it's been so insignificant that it's like, it hasn't even bothered me that much. But it's just like I know my experience isn't universal. It's like, it depends on like, it's all like pure luck as to whether or not you're going to see these things or not. And it's like again, I think your best approach to this is just play it, experience it, try not to overthink it. Just like, and know, like, even if you're missing a whole bunch of stuff, that means the experience that you're having is unique to other people.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of what I'm doing. Go ahead.
I try to essentially, like, again, dealing with games kind of with this mindset. And it's kind of like one of those things. Sorry, Lilith needs to talk about psychology for a second.
Sure. No, go ahead.
So there is a kind of psychological effect that kind of unintentionally kind of forces a perfectionism onto people. It's the Zeigarnik effect. Basically that things that you don't finish tend to linger much more strongly in your mind than things that you do. And I think that in a big way, the problem with that kind of thing and gaming is that we have this like lingering dissatisfaction itching in our brain where you're like, oh, I finished the game, but did I actually finish it? Like, did I actually get the experience I want? And I think the thing that I kind of had to do to co-opt myself out of that is I may see an ending, I may see credits, I might ultimately, have an experience. But the thing that I have to constantly tell myself with these kinds of things is basically to say, if this game is worth playing, this will probably not be the only time I ever play it.
Right.
I
Sure.
understand that like Undertale intentionally tries to resist you with that. Like it's like, don't delete the save file. But the thing is, by fiat of consuming a piece of media at all, like engaging with it in that kind of way, for your own personal edification, I think it should be one of those things where, like, Deltarune has a chapter select. You have the ability to go back and do things again. It's not a closed door the way that Undertale kind of is.
Right.
And in that same kind of way, the thing that really puts my mind at ease in that kind of respect is just saying, okay, it's fine if I didn't get every rare blade in Xenoblade 2. It doesn't actually matter to me finishing the game, and if this game is worth playing, I will play it again. And in a weird way, like, again, in refutation about the thing with spoilers, I don't care about spoilers at all. I have never cared about spoilers. I think that spoilers ruin moments. They don't ruin truly significant stories for me.
Yeah.
And I think in that same respect, playing a game a second time, knowing what's going to happen, knowing how I should almost be in a mindset for specific moments, I almost always feel that the second playthrough is the enjoyable one. Like, playing through a Souls-like and knowing what you have to do and kind of proving your mastery is a fun thing. And in the same way with stuff like RPGs, being able to almost, like, as an actor knows their lines, navigate the story almost allows for greater immersion rather than thinking, God, I have to do this stupid, dungeon in order to get the actual ending that I actually want. This is so stupid. If a game is making you feel that way, perhaps better not to engage.
Yeah, no, like I agree with all of that. It's because like that's what I did with like Xenoblade X, there a bunch of missions popped up once I finished the story, and I was just like, I'm good. I've played everything I wanted to play of it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I've been having that sort of feeling with Expedition 33 as well, where I'm just like, oh, once you get to the end of that game, everything opens up. Here's a million different super bosses you can fight. You're only at like level 50. You're nowhere even near the level cap. Here's an entire new challenge area you can go to. There's stuff that's like still locked that you can't get to yet because you haven't finished something else in the world. But you can go and finish the game if you want.
Yeah. Chapter 3 of Expedition 33 was so weird. Like, in a thing, because literally all it wants you to do is go finish the game.
I mean, I think that's kind of a new trend that we see in gaming, which is this interesting principle that I've noticed in game design, which is games that let you decide the pace of your own ending. Like, I think we've all had this kind of experience where you're like, God, this game is like 20 hours too long. Being able to have a game where you're like, I'm done, I want to see the ending today.
Right.
That's kind of like an interesting way to tailor your own experience, because when you don't have to be like, I have to get through 20 to 30 more hours of this JRPG and just say, I can end it now if I feel like it, you are free to engage with as much of the story as you feel like.
Right. That's sort of how I treated Breath of the Wild. Like I've told my Breath of the Wild story before, but it's like the way I played it was I played through 2 of the dungeons and I'm like, I can just go finish the game now. I went to Hyrule Castle. I had like a 4-stage final boss fight because those extra bosses you haven't fought come and fight you again. And it's like, ooh, this felt like it really like it hit me in a way where it's like I'm actually spending all my resources to do these things. And it's like I went and finished the game then and felt totally satisfied. Like I didn't feel like I was missing things just because like I went and I didn't do the other dungeons, which I did eventually just go back and just do those dungeons anyways, just to like see those storylines. But it was like I felt like it's nice. It's nice being able to say like it's nice having the ability to be like, I feel able to go and do this, so I'm going to go and do it. And not like and not feel weighed down by like needing to be a completionist.
Yeah, like it also like I'm glad I did side stuff in some of those games before I got the ending, because there's like points of Expedition 33 that if you get the ending and then do the side stuff, they completely contradict the ending. It's like, wait, what? Like, no. Like, yeah, it's really interesting. Like,
yeah, I agree with pretty much everything y'all are saying. I'm revealing so much about just being weird about stuff on here. Like, it's just like I wanna do things my way, and when it doesn't let me, I get pissed off, and it's just like, okay, no, that's just not how the world works. So like I gotta figure it out. I might just replay through it and have a guide, or because I want to do what I want to do with it. But I get it. It's just how I want to experience it, and I'm not trying to be too much of a stickler, but I'm also not trying to be too loose with it at the same time. I want to experience it the way I want to experience it.
Yeah.
So whatever, it's fine. But
I do in a way that's not about like the specific topic. I think it's interesting where obviously, actually, am I the only one that's finished chapters 2 or 3 and 4?
I think so.
Okay. So I'm not going to go into spoilers. Obviously, that would be in bad taste after everything everyone just said. But
this is exactly what happens at the end. No.
But but I think it's interesting because chapter 1 feels very much like its own standalone chapter of the game, which is why I think
agree.
it was released standalone. Second, for chapter 2. I think in a weird way, Toby understood that the two were going to be released around the same time. And as such, I think a lot of people will be essentially almost a little dissatisfied by 3 in terms of its total overall size as well as what it goes over. But I think that's the kind of reason it was bookended with 4, where chapter 3 kind of needs chapter 4 to feel complete.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I feel like the weirdo in that scenario because I've heard people say that same thing before, but I really like chapter 3 as it is. I think it's really cool. I love how many like weird side like caveats there are. Like I found a secret that I never even like finished. That was like, I'm not sure how many people have even seen this. And it's like, it's nice that there's so many like it's nice that there is like enough there that it feels like I felt very satisfied with it as its own chapter, but I know other people. I know like I'm very alone in that.
Well, the thing is, I'm happy with its length, but I think it's kind of like this oddity as Deltarune as it exists today as like a living product. Like when Deltarune is a living video game, even like if everyone in the entire world played it to completion of Deltarune that exists today, we would still have to live with the fact that it is a still living, breathing, and changing game, which is like odd because again, we are used to getting that sense of completion from playing and finishing a game, and it's almost like the weird like weekly TV show release schedule, except we're waiting on the scale of years.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what their development pipeline looks like at this point. I doubt 5, 6, and 7 are gonna take nearly as long as like 3 and 4 did.
I think they did say that the next update will be next year.
Yeah, 2026 is chapter 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I imagine there was a lot of like reworking that needed to be done in terms of like the base of Deltarune. Like I know a lot of people who replayed it specifically on Steam so they could like have their save updated and like totally fine, but I didn't bother with that, and it still managed to pull my local save from when it was the survey program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, and I imagine a strong part of that was them like making sure that like all of the stuff before 3 and 4 was like totally fixed. You know what I mean? That we don't have these like you still don't have this weird issue of like, if I delete the folder, does it delete my directory? You know?
It's a weirdness that definitely comes with the issue with versioning that Deltarune has had, where every chapter of Deltarune is technically its own standalone game held together by like another architecture. So they basically had to find a way to seamlessly like punt you over between games, which I don't know what the back end for that is, but that must be a nightmare.
I mean, 3 and 4 becomes the launcher for it, essentially.
Yeah.
I think 2 actually was when they introduced the chapter select, because you can select between 1 and 2, and that's when it like that's when like they actually built the structure for it. But who knows? I didn't develop the game. You know what I mean? I can't fucking speak for it.
I mean, it's the benefit of the game being relatively speaking, like compared to something like Exposition 33, it's relatively simple.
Yeah.
It's still a game maker game, you know, or whatever they used. I think it was Game Maker. Yeah. But I guess quality wise, we could talk about the action.
Yeah, I mean,
it's good.
Mean, that's one of the things I actually really wanted to like talk about was like chapter 3 really feel I don't want to say they're like I don't want to say they're like pushing the boundaries of what they can do, but it's like, oh man, they really found like so many experimental things that they never did before with this. I love the way they're playing with like it's TV time. I love the way they were playing with like what is it? Like actual like real footage. I love Tenna's like entire thing of being a 3D model as a sprite. It's really cool. Like they really went out of their way to like up the presentation on this in a way they hadn't tried before. And I think a big part of it is just like them feeling the sort of like need to experiment. You know what I mean? Because Deltarune is a massive experiment on its own of like, how do we expand Undertale? How do we take this and turn it into a party-based game? Okay. How do we take that and make that like this interesting meta narrative? How do we take something that's like, how do we take a game that was ultimately about choice and turn it into something that is supposed to be more static while still giving you, the player, this sort of feeling that your choices are being recorded in some way because we have a meta narrative aspect that we're trying to reinforce. It's cool. It's in chapter 3 is such an interesting like step up from that in terms of like, let's do this, but also let's turn into fucking 11 with shit we've never done before. It's neat.
I mean, I think in a big way, it kind of plays into Toby's obvious influence from things like Mother, where with things in particular with Mother 3, they didn't really want to think about things particularly. Like, obviously game design was still important, but what they were trying to do is like have experiences that are designed not to be like mechanical, but instead be a series of moments that are designed to be so almost off the wall that they are designed to be remembered in isolation forever in concert with that game. And especially with the mixed media stuff that they do, in addition to just like the stuff where it's like, this is, you know, kind of a bullet hell JRPG, but also like, let's play with stuff that a audience of reasonably immersed people would never expect this game to do.
Right.
And I think what I've played of Chapter 4 is setting up a lot of crazy cool stuff. So I'm excited to get through that. And the mini boss in that is funny as fuck. And Not just because he's got YouTube poop references, okay? Not just because I'm a mark, all right?
Yeah, I know how it is now. Okay, I understand.
But they helped.
I thought it was so weird when Sans got his penis out. That one was really strange. I'm sorry. Not to spoil. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I thought it was messed up when the entire cast of Killer Instinct showed up in Chapter 4.
Yeah, it's a weird crossover, but you know what?
It was really cool. It is actually really interesting.
Jago was just throwing the fireballs. It was like, all right, yeah, sure.
More like Saber Woof.
Do we want to talk about the news? Because there's only a little bit.
Yeah.
Because not E3 happened, so we're just kind of, we've got a couple of things here. So Konami did a stream like way afterwards, which is really funny. The fact that they were just like, oh, hey, we're going to do something now. They announced a few things. They also just kind of went over some stuff that was already announced before. They talked a little bit more about Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, whatever the fuck it's called.
They're calling it Delta because they're doing these remakes out of order. You know how it is.
Yeah. So they talked about the new mode that they are adding. Here I'll kind of go along with this trailer here because they talked about Snake versus Monkey, and how that is going to be in the PS5 and the PC version, but the Xbox version, which again, I'm not. We don't want to talk too much about Xbox on here. Free Palestine. But just to mention it, they're going to get Snake versus Bomberman.
Very strange. That actually that does kind of annoy me a bit because part of the thing that has been really annoying when it comes to preservation with Metal Gear games is they love to do these licensed tie-ins, but that also means that's stuck there and that's never going to appear somewhere else. The only time it ever really got a larger release was when the console specific missions and Ground Zeroes got put out on the other platforms, and even those were just I don't want to say bad missions, but they were nothing crazy. They're fine. They're totally copacetic missions. But it's we're never gonna see snakeboarding again. We're probably, unless they put the Bomberman stuff out on PC or something, then we're probably not gonna see that off of Xbox. And it's man, that's such an annoying trend.
Yeah,
I get that they want to make reference to the old games, but also I think they should have just had the Bomberman thing on all the versions of the game.
Maybe it's timed exclusive. Maybe it's just going to be something for a little bit, and then eventually it gets put out on all platforms.
I'm saying the Bomberman stuff could get put on other stuff, but they're not going to put Snake versus Monkey on Xbox. Is the thing. So it's just that one version of the game is just going to be missing this content, and it's just that sucks. But whatever. Yeah. But then the other stuff that they talked about is the multiplayer mode, which we've got some footy right here of it. They are not doing Metal Gear Online this time. They are doing something called Fox Hunt, which they didn't really explain too much about it, but they talked about it being more of a hide and seek stealth thing than just
it makes me excited because I am a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed multiplayer when they added that, and when you got people who were serious about it, eventually the meta online became just charge straight in and just kill anyone who reacted to you running, which sucked. When you actually had people taking it seriously and going, oh, I'm going to do lots of strategic sneaking, it was the most intense multiplayer experience and one of my favorite games to play multiplayer.
Yeah. The problem, the Metal Gear comparison in terms of Metal Gear Online is there are a couple things that this is similar to. There was the invasion mode in MGS5 where it's like if you're invading someone's base, they could actually show up and try and fight you. And you can also like get other people to come and help you. But like in MGS4, they had a mode that sounds very similar to what this is supposed to be, which was Snake versus opponents. It was like it was a like sort of asymmetrical team deathmatch where there's two teams. They're playing just a normal deathmatch. They have their objectives to win, and then there's one player who's also playing as Snake, and he has really amazing, like, his really great stealth abilities. Very easy to hide and just like get where you need to go. And then eventually, if the lobby filled up so much, you would get a second player on the Snake team, and it would be the Mark II. Like Otacon playing as the Mark II, so you just have your little robot buddy roaming around assisting you, which is really cool. That sort of sounds like similarly what's happening here in terms of like you have multiple people sort of hunting a sneaking person, but I don't know if they're going to go with the same sort of here's a team deathmatch that's happening, and then also Snake is here and he has his own objective. So it's like there was this very interesting incentive of the Snake player like accomplishing their own stuff, but also the other teams aren't just working together to hunt down Snake; they're working against each other.
It looks more like that they are doing. It's like it's going to be a PvP type thing, but it's going to be more focused around hiding instead of just hey, we're just going to kill each other kind of.
I really hope so. Metal Gear Online is so cool. I loved the Metal Gear Online 3. I have so many unique experiences from it that like I'm never gonna have again. And there's this just like there's a sadness to me knowing that they're like, well, we saw Metal Gear Online. We were thinking about how we could do some sort of online thing, and then we just decided to do something else completely. And it's like, man. When are we gonna get the Rumble Roses girls back doing suplexes in Metal Gear lobbies? You know, like what's going on, guys? What are you doing? I think it's cool that they're trying something different. I just really wish, like, if this was a full remake remaster, that like they would have included some version of Metal Gear Online as it is instead of this like weird different online mode that doesn't seem like it's even close to what this is.
Yeah. In the news for me, the Suikoden mobile game.
We were gonna get. It's okay. I wasn't gonna skip it.
I know.
We're going through it. Okay. Start playing this fucking trailer. Like,
it's coming to.
I wonder what Lorelai is interested in talking about.
It's
right
coming
now.
to fucking.
She's like, wrap it up. Stop talking about fucking Metal Gear. Like,
who gives a fuck?
It's coming to Steam too. It's not just coming to phones, and that actually made me happy because. I genuinely think this game would have been a failure in the US if it were only on phones.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it looks really pretty, but like, I mean, is this going to be like a gacha thing, or is it just like a?
It is, but they have gone and described everything they're doing. Their story and their 108 characters in the story are gotten through the story. You do not have to gacha for power. You don't have to gacha for any of that. The only thing the gacha is there for is like, hey, I've got my favorite character from Suikoden 3. I could pull them out of time and add them to my team or whatever. Which, you know, that for me is like good. Give me let me roll for like 10 different versions of Lorelai and I'll be very happy.
It's the fan service tax. I get it.
But like
whatever.
The fact that they're like, hey, we're letting you make a Suikoden game first. It's, you know, and describing it like, I forget what the mobile game is, but I think Sega published it or something. But there was another one that was like this with like, yeah, you can get through the entire story without spending a fucking penny. But if you wanted that pretty, you know, 2B to your team.
Yeah, when are they putting 2B in this?
They probably will, as long as they don't put Joker from Persona 5 in, I feel safe.
I mean, that's when they're going to shut the game down.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I still think that they'll make a new one eventually. Like,
Oh yeah.
Like Uden Chronicles was relatively successful from what I've seen, and the remakes, remasters of 1 and 2, like they're going to keep doing remasters of those.
I hope, but I don't know if that'll happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say?
Because source code issues. PlayStation 2 era.
Okay.
Where you start running into a lot of the source code issues and expensive remastering at that point when it's 3D.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I do think we are going to get a 2D Suikoden 6 within the next few years.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like the only reason why I haven't bought that yet is because I'm waiting for the Switch 2 version of it.
It's real good.
Buy it on Switch. Yeah,
it's real good.
I'm gonna play. I do want to play through those games. But the last thing that they talked about, because I was so fucking pissed. Okay, if you're gonna have your spot, let John talk about what he's gonna talk about. Why I was pissed. They were like, "Oh, we got something to talk about for Yu-Gi-Oh! We got something to talk about," and I was like, hey, maybe they'll talk about another retro collection. Maybe they'll talk about something, literally anything. And then they didn't. They just said, "Hey, we're doing more tournaments." It's like, yeah, no shit, you're doing tournaments.
Let's go.
That was still like nuts to me. I thought they were gonna at least show a trailer for the new game or something.
They didn't. I mean, it's on sale. I get that was part of it. They were like, "Hey, it's on sale, everybody. You can go." Like, which, if you want to play those old Yu-Gi-Oh games, hop on it. It's good. It's a good collection. I really like that collection. Don't get it twisted. I really like that collection. But I was just, I want them to announce more of them because I want them to do the DS ones and I want them to do the PSP ones. So those are the crazy ones. If they if they do Tag, oh my god, they need to do a Tag Force collection. Oh, I want to play the Tag Force games on something that isn't a PSP. But yeah, they fucked me and they told me to die, and I was very sad. They didn't actually do that, but they might as well have. But then they said, "Hey, guess what? Silent Hill." They had another trailer for Silent Hill If, which is the by the Higurashi guy, Ryukishi, and that seems really fucking cool. And then they said, "Hey, also Bloober Team is making another Silent Hill thing." And pretty quickly afterwards, they cleared it up. Like, okay, it's not just a Silent Hill. They're doing a remake of the first game. They're doing a remake of Silent Hill 1.
You can criticize Bloober Team all you want. People like the Silent Hill 2 remake. So
the Silent Hill 2 remake is great. They are very good when they don't have to write.
I mean, like from what I have gathered from them, it does seem that they do kind of want to back up from a lot of the shitty stuff that they were doing back a few years ago, which, like, they did a lot of shitty stuff, and I am still not fully ready to just be like, y'all are good.
I mean, there were like interesting interviews with them where they were like talking about how they were pushing back on Konami corporate about changes they wanted to make to Silent Hill 2, and they were like, actually, this will make it bad. No. I'm like, so I have hope. I have hope in Bloober Team a little bit.
Yeah, like, I'm sure this will be fine. I know that people are like really worried about them doing 3, but that one will probably be at least fine too, because it's, they're probably not going to change anything. It's just going to be that game, but with modern controls and all that. So whatever.
Look, as long as they don't do like the second movie where they just turn Pyramid Head into a Pokemon that randomly shows up whenever she needs help, and it's just like, Pyramid Head, I choose you.
I mean that
they would be. They should remake the movie. They should actually just do that. I think that would be funny. Not into a game, just make another movie. Just do it again. Same movie.
I mean, aren't they? Didn't they announce that they were making a new one a couple of years ago?
Silent Hill movie remake. Got it.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think putting Bloober Team in the remake minds and then having other people come in and do. Sure.
Probably the best use for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do want to play F. I want to see what's going on with Ryuka. I mean, it's just Higurashi. Isn't the girl's name like a letter off of one of the Higurashi characters' names or some shit? Like he's just making a high budget Higurashi and putting Silent Hill on it. Like, okay, sure, all right, man. There you go. If that works for you, that works for me. But there's that. And then 2 more bits of news here, just real quick, because we do have 2 Nintendo bits. We have the weird news and the frustrating news. First off, the weird news. Nintendo just very randomly announced a new Splatoon spin-off game.
Right. You have to imagine that like this was like probably planned as like a DLC for Splatoon 3, but then also like Switch 2 comes out, so they need like an exclusive game. And maybe this actually runs on Switch 2 hardware and doesn't run on
it's on Switch, Switch 2 only.
Yeah. So it's like obviously like whatever content they were working on, they're like, make it Switch 2. And then they're like, they're gonna do an update for Splatoon 3 anyway. So
yeah, they already did the update. Yeah, so the update came out and it was just like adding some more weapons and like bringing back an old map. And then if you're playing on Switch 2, it's got the better frame rate and all that.
Yeah,
which is nice, sure.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so this new game, they didn't really reveal too much about it, but it is a single player game where you're playing as, I guess, this mechanic. I guess the person flying the helicopter, like fucking MGS5, I guess.
I love how many weird Metal Gear references they do. It's very fun. They're having fun. I love it.
No, but they are making a single player Splatoon thing, and yeah, it's based around the newscasters from 3, which I think is a good call because I haven't played too much Splatoon, but something that I've heard from a lot of people is like they kind of put the deep cut characters kind of on the back burner because they wanted to wrap up the stories with the characters from 1 and 2, like so. It's kind of a little bit of a shame that like those new characters didn't get like the highlight that they should have in their game.
Well, it makes sense that they would like, this again, if this was originally an expansion for 3.
Yeah, maybe.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, they haven't really said like what exactly kind of game it is. Like I'm guessing it's just going to be going around and fighting enemies and collecting stuff.
Yeah, it's a single player game. We know that.
Yeah,
that's
all we really know.
The one they did for 2, where they added the single player DLC, where you're a squid or you're a
Octoling
going through the underground.
The Octo expansion, if you were.
Yes, that's what it was. The Octo expansion.
Yeah. But I mean, it seems cool. Like I'm not somebody who's really into the multiplayer aspects of games most of the time. So this is way more interesting. Like just a single player experience is something that I'm way more interested in for Splatoon. So that's neat. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate them like putting out a game just knowing like, oh, we don't need to worry about the multiplayer thing. We're just gonna have that on another game.
Yeah,
and I mean they're just going to keep Splatoon 3 going, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to be doing any more Splatfests or whatever. But they've made this more playable on Switch.
They could, in terms of like
they could.
This is essentially the Switch 2 release of it.
Yeah,
they can do a whole new cycle, especially if they have a whole new game coming out.
And they probably should, because that's when the game is most active, is during a Splatfest, when tons of people come back because they want to say fuck mayonnaise.
Yeah, I guess so. Lily, do you have any opinions on any of this stuff? I'm sorry if we're leaving you out.
No, you're fine. I'm the one person here that doesn't have a Switch 2, so I'm just sitting here sadly staring at my destroyed 3DS.
We're like 1 week out from the Switch 2 release or something like that.
Yeah.
How's everyone been feeling about that since it came out?
I really so far actually like the system a lot. Like I like the fact that John talked about it last week, but Pokemon actually runs.
Right.
And runs like really well, and I was just like jumping back in and going, oh wow, I got like 9 shinies.
I was gonna say, how fast did you find a shiny?
It's ridiculous, but having it run at a proper frame rate, that game, I already liked it, and it's
now
that's a good ass game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, I jumped into it too for a little bit. I still haven't played that much of it, but it's like, I have.
Did you find a shiny?
No, I no, not yet. I have an RPG itch, and I just bought a Switch 2, so I'm like, I should find something on this to play.
Might I recommend?
I mean, Rido's coming out in a couple days.
Suikoden 1 and 2 remastered.
That's coming out soon, yeah.
Could be. The only Switch 2 RPG that's out right now is Bravely Default, and I can't play that game another 4 times.
I mean,
I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. It's not happening. Listen, it's a totally fine, cromulent video game. I cannot for the life of me play that game again. It's not gonna happen.
You can and you will.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's required now.
No.
Yep. You just did it. That's your homework assignment for next week's podcast.
I think I'll look through like the like Switch I think I'll look through like old Switch stuff, see if there's something that really hits me. Still never played Unicorn Overlord. Heard that's very good
game.
Yeah.
Heard it's good.
Yeah. And this last bit of news here, this is just a weird kind of frustrating thing here. We were maybe going to talk about it last week, but we just didn't get around to it. So the most recent voice actor who played Peach and Toad in the Mario games very suddenly was informed that they recast her as Peach and Toad, starting with Mario Kart World, which is just very strange in the sense that, like, they gave Charles Martinet heads up, which, I mean, like, he's a big, prolific guy. He's kind of one of the faces of the franchise, so it makes sense. But they didn't really give her any. But then at the same time, it's just kind of like, she probably knew that Mario Kart World was coming out, right? Like, I don't know how that's like that big of a surprise.
That is strange. That is strange. It's like it's Samantha Kelly voicing Peach for 18 years across multiple games, and like, suddenly the next game comes out and she's just not in it. And it's like, that's strange. Really weird. She
was in Peach Showtime. Like, that game came out last year.
Yeah.
Like,
what the fuck?
Very sudden. Like, she was playing that character in, I mean, I guess she was in Wonder. And, that was when Kevin Afghani replaced Charles Martinet. Like, it's just very bizarre. It's very bizarre that they just chose to do it now. And
they made like a big thing about Charles Martinet doing it too, especially because like he'd be stepping down from voice acting entirely. He's the Mario ambassador, whatever that means.
I don't think he's stepping down completely. He's just not doing Mario anymore.
Yeah,
right.
But it's just weird. It's a very weird thing. Like, I don't know if I want to like be full on like this is Super Nintendo nefariousness. Oh, it's just bizarre, and they probably
she apparently found out Thursday of last week, like really strange. You know what I mean?
She found out when the game came out,
exactly.
Which again, like, at some point it's just kind of like, they haven't, like, this game's out today. They haven't, like, if this game's out tomorrow, they haven't called me to voice her. Am I going to do this overnight? Like, I don't know. Yeah. That seems a little like
so strange.
But yeah, I don't fucking know. It's I mean, I can understand her being pissed about it, but also, like, I also kind of understand them like recasting some of these characters too, because like they want to make them sound like I don't know how Peach sounds in Mario Kart World. I'm gonna have to look that up, but I don't know. They probably
this guy doesn't play as Peach. He's
I don't have Mario Kart World.
I don't know.
I don't have it.
It's a good game.
It's the only game on the Switch. I don't know why you don't have it.
It's a fun one.
I got Kunitsugami.
Honestly, I want to get Kunitsugami. If there's one thing I like about video games right now, it's that watching through all week of like Summer Games Fest, the thing that's in now is fucking Nioh Core.
Well, I like
Speak on that.
I like Kunitsugami. Yeah.
Speak on that.
What? Like, look at it. Kunitsugami, there were like the new
Japan.
Game Freak game just looked like a Nioh thing for a couple of seconds. Like,
it looks like Japan.
Lorelai seeing something Japanese and going, is this Nioh?
Nioh. Oh. All right.
And listen, it's only happened a couple of times where you were right about that, okay? Not every time.
It's happened sometimes, bro.
If you had
it's happened enough times that I didn't think Nioh 3 was being announced until it got to the end.
Yeah. Are there any other games that y'all want to specifically discuss here? Because we are going very long.
Yeah,
so is there anything that y'all want to touch on real quick?
I think like the live format definitely helps with us just doing like more casual, longer podcasts.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have to stress about it.
I honestly do want to talk about Final Fantasy 14 for a bit.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab it.
Go ahead.
Look, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get something to
first of all, we have another person on staff who plays. So it's not always, hey, I could talk about it when Rose or Skull is here. So new content just dropped that is really nice. And that content is called I Just 13'd Orphaned a Motherfucker in Mahjong. Which is like the rarest hand possible. But on a serious note, it's the Occult Crescent, which has been like this really fun, it's something the game has needed. It's grind-based content with all of the Final Fantasy V jobs all of a sudden being added into the game as like side things you can equip. That is really fun to play with. It's a whole lot of different... Like, they've had these before, whereas in the last time they did it, it was all big fight against boss kind of stuff related. The time they did it before that, it was, hey, you could level up fighting anything. This time around, it's a mix of both, and you just get different rewards for fighting random things on the map that you do boss fights. And it's just... It's nice having a chill grind again that I've been able to fuck with, like, while I've been, like, editing the podcast or whatever, because I don't really have to pay attention. But I can also have a thing going on. And it's something 14 has kind of desperately needed, because if you don't raid like I do, there's, you know... I think Lilith said it earlier, you're logging on, doing a couple of dailies, and then sitting in Limsa for one of the cities, idling until you log off, doing nothing. And it's nice finally having that for both people who like battle content and freaks like me who also love crafting. So I've just got a nice little grind to be able to do in the background while I'm working on other stuff. It's something I've desperately needed for a while.
Yeah, I think like in a big way, it is very clearly like a thing that was kind of missing for a long while after the absence of like something like Baja, or if you didn't want to do the late game Endwalker crafting stuff. I think it's nice to kind of just have... Because like it is that weird kind of combinatorial like effect where you have like the staged combat encounters where you can kind of check in when you want to do something a little bit more high intensity, but you can just kind of run around and level your phantom jobs, do the basic engagements with like the minor enemies to farm gold. You can do that kind of thing. Yeah. And I think that especially when like we had like Endwalker kind of acting as a de facto launching pad for people getting into the game for the first time. We had people getting engaged because when Endwalker came out, lockdown was more prevalent in the mindset, so people kind of just wanted something to engage with that was immediately cathartic. So having something that can be as active as you want it to be is kind of nice in like the current patch cycle that is 14.
Yeah. And just having some things, it's like it's fun having a varied amount of content again, because like it had gotten to the point where I was logging on for 6 hours a week with my static, and that was it. I log on, I do raid, I log off. I wasn't engaging with the game at all. I lost my house on my alt. I almost lost my house on my main because like I just wasn't logging on, wasn't enjoying. Like when I did log on, I was enjoying myself, but I wasn't encouraged to engage with anything. And it's nice to be encouraged to engage with stuff again, and taking it away where I'm not doing what I used to do in the past, which was the streamer thing where I'd burn through all the content in like 2 days. I legitimately had friends who had all of their phantom jobs maxed within a day, within like 2 days. And it's just like, why would you do that, man? Why? Like, because I can log on, I still have a ton to do. As soon as I hit that point, I've got nothing left to do. And and then I'm gonna sit there and complain about how the game has no content because I burned through it all in 2 days.
That and because you burn through what is essentially like a month, several months worth of like stuff to do, now you've described it as boring. Because like I think there's like this kind of phenomenon, especially with MMOs, where you can love something too much, where you kind of can see through the magic trick of how these kinds of things work. Maybe something I could write an entire feature on, but it's kind of like the thing, and it was actually something that was talked about by our community a couple days ago, which was, wow, I noticed that Lilith plays a lot of games all at once. And I think that like a lot of people kind of have this mindset where they want to have that game, like the one game that they singularly focus on. And I think that part of the appeal to me of playing many things at once is kind of like this ability to not just extend something as a series of hours, but over a period of time. Because as soon as you're able to spread something out over a time period, and I think I said this last week as well, you can basically say that you remember it as a bigger event than just that one time I spent 160 hours in Occult Crescent and I have nothing in my life to show for it.
Yeah. I spent 2 days burning through a month of content, which I did during Shadowbringers when Boja came out. And all I could think about when I thought about Boja was how much I hated it because I fucking burned myself out in a day. Like, yeah, of course you're going to hate that shit because you burn yourself out. Like, why are people like this?
Mm-hmm. I think it's the...
Yeah. It's fun being in there again.
Well, yeah, it's nice to have something that you are... Because, like, again, I'm someone who, unfortunately, I'll never get this time back, and I sit late at night thinking about it every single day. I will never get the 3,000 hours I spent playing Counter-Strike back. Yep. But the reason I played that was because the gameplay was fun.
Yeah, because you watched that one video that has a bus driver song in it. Yeah.
But compared to something like this, being able to do something that is like meaningfully productive, you can see the gears turning even if it's slowly. It's nice to have that kind of thing to work toward again because, it's usually the journey that's more meaningful than the actual destination. And I don't know, my steady grind to own every single Dark Knight weapon in the game as a glam.
Hell yeah. Like that's my thing too, is like the other day or last week when I was editing the podcast, I literally was just running around opening chests. That was it. I didn't fight one entire thing. I just made a ton of money progressing stuff, just running around doing a simple simple task, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's the joy of being able to make your own goals.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, lest we get more of the video game roadshow happening in Scott's webcam.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have anything to add. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about the Final Fantasy 14 still.
No, it's all good.
I appreciate the talk. I appreciate the talk though. And I hope that it's good.
Yeah.
That's all. Just I hope it's good.
And
Game's good.
Yeah.
Silver Case.
Game's good.
John, you like this, John?
I haven't played Silver Case yet.
And then
I'll play it sometime.
I'll say I will talk about Mario Kart World for a bit because I've been playing a ton of it with my girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a totally fun Mario Kart
Split
game.
screen feels really good. The one problem with the game is that you can't split screen the open world stuff.
Yeah,
unless
I've been
you are
hearing
in
about
an
that.
online lobby. So we had a friend of ours set up an online lobby and just leave so that we could do the open world stuff with
Man,
my
it works.
girlfriend. Like it's like that's the one thing they need to fix.
So the thing I don't know yet is like, are those like weird missions from the single player in the online mode? Because I haven't like
Yes.
found those whenever I go online. Okay,
Yeah, they are.
all right. Like the ones that are just like, here's a button you hit and then you go and do a mission.
Yeah, and you go and do a goofy thing, like,
Okay.
but it's all doing it. It's a cool little thing. The open world stuff is genuinely some of the most fun. Like, I like those little P block missions because they are like, hey, let's teach you how to play the game good.
Right.
And knockout mode fucking rules. That's like the most intense bullshit.
I like that they added Fall Guys to Mario Kart. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing I don't like about it is literally only the first track of every cup has laps. All of the tracks in this game, pretty much, are like the F-Zero tracks in Mario Kart 8, where you race from the start to the finish. And you get checkpoints.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like how that goes sometimes, but sometimes having it be at laps is cool too. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pick it up eventually. I'm waiting for Costco to have it for $70 so I can
Yeah,
save
I
money
think
on it.
Yeah, I just grabbed it in the bundle because, like, why not? Like, if you're gonna buy the Switch 2, then might as well have the Switch 2 game. It has one game. What do you expect?
I'm just being a freak about it and wanting to get the physical version. It is freak mind.
I understand. I'm really upset that they didn't give me a physical. I would love to have a case.
Like
I
don't
say,
do it.
I want them. I want it.
I will say I super appreciate Marvelous for just being like, yeah, it doesn't matter how big our games are, they are coming on a cartridge for you.
Sure.
So, your Rune Factory and whatnot all come on a cartridge.
Yeah, I respect it. Is there anything else any of you want to talk about, or should we do questions? No?
We should probably pivot to those questions.
Yeah.
All right, let's pivot to the questions. If you want to send in a question, we have a podcast email, which I'm going to look at real quick. Nope, nothing. Podcast@gamesline.net. You can send stuff there. You can also send it to our Discord server. We have an asks for the podcast channel thread.
I missed the Tumblr ass box. I wish it didn't break. It's so convenient. It's so convenient.
It's not working anymore.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Maybe we just get like one of those like bad Curious Cat knockoffs and see if we can just use that. We'll see.
You'll see. All right. First off, we got a question from Solon. Solon asks, "Who's on your King of the Hill fence?" Because something we gotta mention. Fortnite did add Hank Hill and Bob Belcher and Cleveland Brown.
And Cleveland's in it too. Yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland's there.
It is weird that Cleveland, like, they made a big deal about, like, when they added Peter Griffin, like, they couldn't really do his body type, but they have Cleveland just normal, even though they they basically look the exact. What did they figure out between that and Peter? What did they figure out?
Peter is a bit bigger than Cleveland, but you know.
But you don't need to actually make him bigger. You know what I mean? You just need to make him a little chubby, and he's fine.
Yeah.
Look, just do like Final Fantasy 14. The only hitbox is like 1 pixel in the middle. It doesn't matter how big your body is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have been playing Fortnite with some buddies. Most of them bought Hank Hill. I haven't yet, simply because I'm a little poor right now because I bought. I was about to grab my Switch 2, but it's not here. It's over there. It's over there because I was playing it in bed before. Or sorry, back there. But back there. But yeah, no.
Yes, of course.
I haven't grabbed Hank Hill yet, which is crazy because like the Hank Hill model is taller than everyone else, and his head like clips through like cars and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it feels like you're at a disadvantage when you're playing as Hank Hill, but you are playing as Hank Hill, which is great, which is perfect. It's exactly what you want.
Please tell me
his
they
emote
added
is all of
propane and propane accessories as grenades.
Oh, he has propane accessories as his like accessories. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's his back bling. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
But
they added a taunt too, where he's standing at the fence, and other players can walk up to you and activate it as well, and they're also standing at the fence drinking beers really fast. So you can. This has opened up a whole new world for us. You have to understand. Mm-hmm. I can go and walk up. Neytiri, she's pounding the drinks. We got Miku, she's pounding the drinks. We got a Godzilla. They're all hanging out with Hank Hill. It's nice. As evil as Fortnite is, I appreciate that they let me do dumb stuff with Zendaya. I have 2 Zendaya skins. and two Tom Holland skins.
So you finally moved away from just being the Green Gobbler?
I'm only the Green Goblin when I'm hanging out with the Green Goblins and we go Green Goblin mode. That's it. That's the only time we're the Green Goblin.
Fortnite is like everything wrong with society, but it's also very good. That's the thing that sucks about
it is good is the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
I
really
wish
funny
it were bad. I wish it were every few seasons I log on and I max out a battle pass and go, okay, I'm done with Fortnite for a while.
Yeah. Last season was exclusively Star Wars. The entire map was filled with Star Wars stuff. There were only Star Wars weapons, which was actually kind of cool because it like changed the way you play the game. It made me think, you could probably build like a Star Wars Battlefront game in this, and that would be really cool. But they didn't do that. Anyways, like I don't care about Star Wars really. But they had a Moff Gideon who, if you took the helmet off, was just Giancarlo Esposito. So of course I bought that. Like, why would I not buy Giancarlo Esposito and just play as him?
But who's on your King of the Hill fence?
Yeah, who's on the fence?
I already told you. Miku's there. Godzilla's there. Neytiri's there. Jake Sully could be there if he wanted to be. Master Chief is there, and they're all wearing the same sneakers. Okay, they're all wearing very fly sneakers.
Okay, Lorelai, what about you? Who do you want to swiftly drink drinks with?
It's gonna be the Green Goblin.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Weird choice between those two.
Wolverine.
Okay.
And Deadpool. So that's. I mean,
it's the worst wall in existence.
Right? Yeah, you managed to make something really fucking disgusting.
Exactly.
And I'm really mad at you.
That's the point. I don't want to lean on a fence drinking beer. I don't drink beer.
You would turn up. You would turn away, Hank.
I have been. Look, there's too much of a temptation near that fence. Yes, I would turn away Hank. I would not turn away Boomhauer.
Okay.
Yeah, Boomhauer's great. Yeah, okay, so I think my real one would be that what's her name? Naoko from Robotic Alchemical Drive. She's there.
Now,
Nanao. Emma from MGS2 is there. Agrius Oaks is there. And who's a good fourth? I guess Neytiri. Is also there. And they're just fucking hanging out. What else do you want from me?
look, I'm pretty sure Nanao is underage to be drinking, but also I think she really needs
She
a
would.
beer.
She needs a fucking beer.
Oh boy! All right, Lily, do you have a cast of characters that you want to drink beer very fast with?
So I was sitting here kind of like mentally percolating on whether I wanted to have like the nastiest vibes possible. Just like absolutely rancid, or just characters that I think would really like ought to or deserve a beer. If I had to like just not define what either of those two extremes are, well, you see, I'd put Hank Hill back on there.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
he's there.
You know, he deserves that.
Mhm.
I would say Zero from Drakengard 3.
Oh fuck!
Okay.
Virgil from Devil May
Ooh.
Cry, but specifically Devil May Cry 5 Virgil because he needs the dad beer. And then I would just put, you know, Kaim from Lost Odyssey just to balance it all out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an excellent.
Interesting.
That's
Now I
excellent,
want to
yeah.
play Lost Odyssey. God
right,
damn
so
it, Scott!
So I think
Which
that
immediately ties into the next question.
yeah, that's true. We'll hit that in a moment. I have to answer my question. I think we should just have a bunch of PS1 mascots. I want Crash standing there drinking the beer. I want
Is he
Blasto.
Blasto.
We got the guy. How about the guy from Wild 9
Oh,
and
Maximo.
I'm talking PS1, not PS2. But
Oh,
you know,
Put
that's
Scud
you know,
there.
Scud, disposable assassin. Oh yeah, I mean he'll probably be there even if we don't invite him.
Ninja from Ninja.
The Eye Ninja. Yeah, we could do the Eye Ninja. There you go. Yeah, some classic characters just drinking a brewski together. All right, and our other question here is: which video game dad would you most like to wish a happy Father's Day today? Because yeah, we are recording on Father's Day. That is when we are recording this. Who do you want to give a shout out to for Father's Day? Lorelai, we can start with you. Who do you want to give a shout out to on Father's Day?
I am going to give a shout out to the most patient dad in video games.
Uh-huh.
I'm giving it to the entire Silverberg family of war criminals from Suikoden.
Wow.
Because you have Matthew, who
Horrible.
is having to be a dad for all these people. You have for an entire army of mostly children. Then you have, you know, his brother Leon, who's just a war criminal and the worst person in the world.
Of course.
You know, just really good dads in that family.
What other dads are we feeling?
Yeah. Lily, do you have a dad you want to shout out?
You see, I don't really much need the surrogate father figure, but if I had to identify the father figure that I would want to pay tribute to on this Father's Day, I would say well, naturally we got to go with Uncle Phil.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he's calling you a big-eared furf, you know it's from a place of love.
All I got is I gotta wish Mr. Snake and his boyfriend Otacon good happy Father's Day, both of them. They raised her right. That's all that matters.
They raised
She
her
can't
right.
make eggs. She cannot make eggs. She doesn't do a good job.
She learns. She learns how to make an egg over the course of the game. Okay.
Wouldn't you also just be really happy to be able to go up to your friends and be like, "Oh yeah, my dad, his name. You think his name is weird? Well, it stands for Otaku Convention."
It's
you think she calls him Otacon?
name.
Or is it like, oh yeah, that's Papa
I think
Hal,
she did
you know, like.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I don't think she calls him Otacon. I think she does just call him Hal.
Because I don't know, there's like a level of disrespect coming from that. So like, I'd be like, I don't know, kid, don't call me that.
I love the Otaku Convention. Wait, are you talking about me or the convention I just took you to?
I'm talking about the convention. I'm sick and tired of your shit. I saw what you were doing. I know what you were doing in that booth.
In the helicopter.
We are not at the snow crash level of society where we have started referring to our fathers exclusively by their usernames.
Not yet. Yeah. Crystal just showed up in the chat and said, "Holy moly, have you been going for 3 hours?" Yeah.
And guess what?
An unhappy Father's Day to the first father who refers to their kid as chat.
See, the funniest part is that we've been doing this for this whole duration, and I don't think I realize in an ordinary recording session where I'm using my voice just how much water you go through, and I'm staring right now down the barrel of 5 empty bottles of 16 ounces bottles of water.
Yep. I'm only on 2, and this one's a reusable one, so.
Damn.
You can't have me on the podcast anymore because I will single-handedly make plastic waste worse.
No! Well, hey, get some of these bad boys. Fill them up. Get a filter. Fill them up.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been having to pee for like an hour and a half.
Well, I think we're just about done. I'm waiting for you to.
I know. I'm trying to think what dad I want to shout out though. I mean,
it's so hard. They're all so terrible.
I mean, I could just be the simple motherfucker and just be like, Papa Near, you know.
That's not the simple answer. The simple answer is like Kratos.
Yeah. I don't want to shout his ass out. Are you kidding me? I mean, like, he's cleaned up a bit in Ragnarok, but like, I'm not gonna do that. Come on. He's a total bastard the entire time in that reboot. Come on, I'm not talking.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're talking like the first name you think of in gaming, that's a dad.
Oh, Joel! Joel, Last of Us.
Oh, shit!
I'm not doing that. I'm kind of all my Pokemon's dads. So happy Father's Day to me.
Happy Father's Day to John. That's right.
I'm the Pokemon father. Hello. I don't fucking know. All right. I know that we're gonna wrap this up, but I did also say that we were gonna take questions from chat, and we didn't do it twice. So
and no one asked anything.
Let's do one question from chat. Chat, if you have a question,
anyone's allowed.
We will come together and come up with the good Omni question.
Yeah, we will do one question from chat. Next time we will try to. Yeah, next time we will try not to do a 3-hour podcast, so we can maybe do 2 or 3 or whatever. But yeah, we have time for one question from chat.
To be fair, it wouldn't have been a 3-hour podcast if we didn't do the opening 45 minutes of the two of us talking about comic books.
Don't tell. Okay, Crystal has asked us, what is our favorite evil choice in a game? That's a good question. Favorite evil choice in a game?
If we are talking on like sheer economy of scale, the one that has kind of stuck with me as like being just like, I don't think you could go bigger than that, is in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, one of the other games by Owlcat Games. You can literally on the heretic path just say, hey, I'm gonna sell this entire planet into slavery to chaos.
Why not?
There you go.
Yeah, why not?
You could do that.
It's funny.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite evil choice. I'm thinking about ones that just like really easily pop up, like, oh, blow up the town in Fallout 3 or whatever. It's good. The thing I've liked about like Fallout London specifically, which I wrote about in Game of the Year extensively. One of the things I've really liked about that is like when it comes to like quote unquote evil stuff. One, they're either mimicking other Fallout games in order to like sort of criticize them in that way, or two, because like there is a quest that is literally the quest from Fallout 3 where you blow up Megaton. It literally has Alistair Tenpenny in it. He's asking you to blow up something else, and like you get to make a whole bunch of like different choices with it. And one of them is just blow up the thing for him. And then that massive structure is just gone. It's the London Eye, the Ferris wheel in London. You can just blow it up if you want. Kills a whole bunch of civilians, or you can go and tell them to evacuate before you blow it up, or you can put it in writing. You can get a contract from him that you are under his employment to blow up this thing, so that you can incriminate him later, and then you find out if you do that, he flees to America to go do the same exact thing in Fallout 3. It's really funny. One of the other things I've really appreciated though is like the actual straight up fascist faction, like the actual Nazi faction in the game. Like if you're not really paying attention to who they are and what they do a really good job of like imitating the sort of real world way, like centrists and people like without any sort of like thought, like any sort of like radical critical political thought can get funneled into fascism. And they do it by appealing to you, by appealing to like your sensibilities and stuff, and then by the time you realize what's going on, it's like, oh wait, we're doing a straight up book burning. That's wild. That's probably not good. It's like it's really interesting the way they handle that stuff. I appreciate the way they like try some really unique stuff with just the idea of like straight up being evil, you know.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't have like a great answer because I'm never really like inclined to do that. I'm such a fucking goody two shoes.
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
want to do the nice things. Like
doing evil choices in video games is fundamentally unpopular. Like,
yeah, and and sometimes in a lot of games it just sucks.
Yeah,
well, I mean, a lot of the time, evil in like, because again, I did a whole article on like the morality of this kind of stuff. I was trying to answer the spirit of the question, but most of the time, like evil choice in a video game amounts to something that's a bad option for literally everyone involved.
Right.
You're just doing it to be a dick.
Right. Games that actually like embrace what like an evil choice would be something like in like games where like you taking the evil choice means something you gain something out of it that you wouldn't otherwise because you're incentivized to treat people in such a way to do it. You know what I mean? Like like the entire quest in Pathologic 1 where you just like where you're carrying a bunch of food around and you can just steal that food because otherwise like what's the fucking point? Like you're not going to get much out of this otherwise.
Well, that's exactly it. Most evil like that we understand like an evil act in real life kind of comes from this, like as silly as it is to say, it's the smallest scale of it is choosing not to return the cart at the grocery store.
Right.
Real evil choices are just that exploded in scale, where it's like, I could spend $300 million to give my employees health care, but then I would have $300 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess if we're really answering it that way, the best evil choice in video games is giving a poor person a gold coin in like an Elder Scrolls game and then immediately pickpocketing it back from them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I was going to go with. The like there are so many games where you can do it, like Baldur's Gate 3, all of the games from Larian where you spend a ton of money buying everything and you just steal it all back, or you just steal a thing, sell it to them, then buy it from them.
I mean, I'll always love that clip where it's like a Khajiit like that robs you, and then they turn around and you take it back, and they're just like, "It was worthless. I don't care."
Right. In like the Divinity Original Sin 1, there was like this one plot line where there's like a beggar, and he's like, "Hey man, can you like, I'm gonna steal from that cart over there, so I can get some food. Can you like please watch out for me?" And you'll be like, "Yeah man, I can do it." And then you can immediately tattle on him to a cop, and then you can watch him get taken to jail for the thing that you said you were going to spot him on. You can then go to that jail and then murder him in jail and then take the thing he stole.
God.
Oof. Yeah, jeez.
Yep.
I love open-ended games. It's nice that we're having an actual exploration of what it means to be a shitty person. Because you don't have... You obviously should never do something like this in real life. The fact that you can simulate it in some way, it's like, that is an achievement on its own.
Yeah.
I will say I don't fully think that like it's like a really amazing way to do it, but I do appreciate that they gave you like the accomplice option in Persona 4. Like kind of figuring out what was going on and then being like, you know what? I'm into it. Let's keep it going. Like, that's interesting. Again, I don't know. I don't think it fully pulls it off, but I think it's an interesting concept, and I would have loved to see that. I would love to see that kind of stuff happening again. You know, like if Metaphor had a thing where it's just like, you know what, this Lewis guy, I'm gonna team up with him. Fuck y'all. You know, like that could be interesting.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So I started writing a piece that y'all looked at that like looks at the ending of Expedition 33, and it's like there is a really difficult moral choice like right at the very end of it, and I'm not going to talk about it because I'm gonna finish this article, publish it, people are gonna like it, but it's like it was one of those things where it's like, okay, in my head I know what I would consider the actual moral choice here being, but in this scenario, like the quote unquote like bad option still makes a shitload of sense, and it would still help people who are in desperate need of help. So it's like, how do you like a game that sets up a decision like that is so interesting, and it's like I really appreciate whenever games like really make you chew on what your own like beliefs are. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many interesting quests in something like New Vegas where, like, I know what I would do in this scenario, but, like, someone else would probably pick something else entirely. Like, we could talk for days about the political structure of New Vegas.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, games that actually attempt to talk about this in ways that are just, like, ways that are beyond just, like, do you do the good thing or do you do an asshole thing, or like are so much more interesting than other games that just like pretend to be about choice.
And I mean, in a big way, a lot of that comes from the fact that the more interesting moral choices are the ones that are not signposted as such. Because like, if you see a big blue thing that's like, this is the good choice, for one, as a writer, you signpost that you think that you are a moral arbiter of some kind, which is silly. But the other thing is, people may not even read the option at that point. They'll just be like, okay, I'm a good boy. I'll do the good boy option.
Kind of like the biggest problem I have thinking back on Mass Effect, you know? And even then, it's like it didn't try to paint it as good or evil. It's like these are two sides, like two like different ways you can sort of. But it's still the good. It's still the good choice, bad choice. We all know. We all get it. We all understand.
That was the problem that I didn't actually specifically get into it in my article, but it's an option that you have the ability to turn off in Wrath of the Righteous, is like signposting what kind of moral choice this is.
That's cool.
But the weird thing about it is that like you end up with like this confusing morass of morality in that case, because Wrath of the Righteous just assumes that every lawful choice just assumes you like sucking on boots and not like being principled.
Right.
Whereas every chaotic option is like, I know I should probably chain up these rabid bears that are literally eating people, but it would be really funny if I just let them run around.
That's cool. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that we took a very simple question and decided to turn it into this conversation about morality in games that was way bigger than the scope of what we were
As we always do.
Yep.
As we always do. That's Gamesline, baby.
That's Gamesline.
And I would love to do more, but I am going to pee my pants if we don't finish this.
Yeah,
so, please. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for checking us out. And thank you so much for listening, everybody. Let's run down all the stuff here. We got our website, gamesline.net. You can go on there, type that in. You could read stuff that we've written. We can have posts and everything. Lilith just wrote that article, just wrote that review. I highly recommend you read it. Check it out. It's very good. If you have Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter at The Gamesline. If you're on Blue Sky now, it's just gamesline.net. Tumblr, gamesline.tumblr.com. Facebook.com/Gamesline. YouTube.com/@TheGamesline. So if you want to check out the VODs of these, they're going to be up there. Twitch.tv/GameslineTV. Hey, if you're watching this live, you're here. That's where you are. But if you're not, that's where you can do it later, next time, next week.
And on YouTube.
Follow us. Yeah. We have our Patreon, patreon.com/Gamesline. Right now, it's just us doing the anime podcast, which we need to do another episode of that. Because we do. And we like doing it. And it's just, we were going to do it this week, but I was feeling a little sick. So that's what happened there. And then if you want to come hang out with us, which I highly recommend, please come hang out with us. Come chat. Go to our Discord server, thegamezone.zone. You type that into your web browser up there, and you can come talk to us. It's right there. Thank you to Melt Channel/Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to more of their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. Lorelai, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/Judgment Scythe, Blue Sky Judgment Scythe. That's the only social media I use anymore. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Scott, where can people find you?
I'm at twitch.tv/FKSocks, where I'm streaming every Tuesday. We're going to pick up It Takes Two again on next Tuesday because me and Russ are still getting divorced. But you can also download Star Trek Fleet Command using my link. And events marked with this will give me gift subs. And you download it via my link, and then play until Alliance level 15. And I've earned no gift subs.
Great. Fantastic. Lilith, where can people find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at galileusdatura.bluesky.social, where I will post. You can watch a professional non-poster at work where I will not post anything, and then occasionally I will complain about how hard writing is.
As you are to do. I am on Blue Sky. I'm john.gamesline.net on there. That's nice. That's fun that I got to be able to do that. And then that's kind of it.
I can set them up for anyone too. If anyone wants one who's on the website, I'll do it for you for free.
Yeah, we're not going to do it for just random people though. At least not yet. Well, you know,
you have to pay. You have to pay us for Gamesline verification. We'll give you the blue check.
But that's kind of it. You know, please feel free to follow me. It makes me feel like I matter. All right, but that'll do it. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching us live. If you did, we'll be back next week with another episode of the Gamesline podcast. Thank you.
Chugga.
So long.